Another fabulous live. Feliz Sabado. Happy Saturday to all of you out there. Okay. Happy Saturday. What are you guys doing on your good Saturday? Today I had to have some snacks, you guys. It's 12 o'clock, and for some reason, oftentimes, you guys know I don't usually break my fast until like maybe 1 or 2. But then some days I'm flexible because some days if I'm feeling hungry and it's before that time, then I'll eat before that time. So this is just some leftovers, basically. Here are the chicken skewers that I'm going to be snacking on as we're talking about this good Abraham Hicks. These are those chicken skewers that I showed you guys last Saturday that I purchased for my party, and I had like one little package left. So I'm going to eat those. By the way, you guys, these came from Costco, and they are divine. Whether you put some little dipping sauce with them or not, they are just good on their own. They're seasoned perfectly. And then this is just like a leftover tray that one of my guests brought to the party. It was so pretty, you guys. But you guys can still kind of see the remnants. It was a bundle of red grapes over here. So this is why it's only one left, because I ate those first. It was a bundle of green grapes over here. Boo Thing ate those because it's not my favorite. It was just all these different types of cheese. I don't really know the name, but maybe one of these are Gouda, but it was our Parmesan. Here's some cheese here, another cheese here. This is cheese as well, but just in smaller little cubes. And then some like nuts here. I don't know what this is. Is that almond? I'm not sure. But the best part about this tray that they brought me is this like kind of little marmalade. It's called Spiced Cherry Preserves. And this was on the tray. You guys, you should have seen it. I should have taken a picture of it. This tray was so beautiful. It had this gorgeous like red silk ribbon around it. It had like a clear like acrylic lid on it. It was, oh my God, it was so beautiful. So anyway, this is what we'll be snacking on today while we're talking about this good Abraham Hicks. Also, you guys, I need to go ahead and make my drink. You guys know my favorite drink. This is just apple cider vinegar with the mother. I'm just shaking up the mother. I've torn off the tag because it was kind of falling off. So you guys know my favorite drink to make is I just pour, you guys, I know I don't measure anymore. So I just pour myself some ACV, and then I like a little squeeze of lemon, a little drop of some stevia. And I don't even know if I'm going to get around to the lemon today because my lemons, I have some lemons over there, but they're not quite ready yet, so they're hard. And I don't know. Maybe I'll do it, maybe I don't know. But anyway, this is going to be my drink. Okay, so you guys, let's go ahead and get started on this good Abraham Hicks series. I told you guys we were going to do a whole series of Abraham. I cannot talk about Abraham Hicks in one video. It's just not possible. Okay. By the way, you guys, I mentioned to you guys about Abraham Hicks. This is the Abraham Hicks, and Abraham, the spiritual leader that I follow, is the spiritual leader that literally changed my life. Like when I say that I went through a spiritual awakening a few years ago, it is this Abraham Hicks in particular that, because I listen to different spiritual leaders even to this day, but it is Abraham Hicks that literally changed my life. Like changed the way I just view life, how I view humans, how I just view this whole thing that we call reality. It was because of Abraham Hicks, which is why I try to tell you guys I cannot give it all to you in just one video. They, the spiritual entity Abraham, deserves so much more. So, but in addition to me not being able to just condense it all down in one video, you guys will see when I talk about Abraham Hicks, I get extremely passionate about this topic because it was only because of Abraham Hicks that literally opened up the world to me and my world view and perspective of the world and reality. It was only because of Abraham Hicks. So that's why you will kind of hear, even as I'm reading the books, I've already read these books and listened to them many times, but this is why you will see when I talk about Abraham Hicks, why I get so passionate is because it just changed my life. And if I can deliver the information and deliver the message in a way that hopefully that it can resonate with you, and if I can change anybody's perspective of life like Abraham did for me, I have done my job. If I could just change one person's perspective of life, I have literally done my job, you guys, because the way you can start looking at life, other humans, the world, just reality, if you can start looking at it through this type of lens, you guys, your entire existence can be so beautiful, like so loving. This is why oftentimes I tell you guys that ever since I had my spiritual awakening, I don't have judgment for anybody. I don't have any disdain for anybody, any contempt for anybody, even for people who have done me wrong, even for people who have been like completely malicious toward me and have tried to sabotage me, or just different things that people may have traumatized me. I literally cannot even look at people like that with any kind of hate or negativity, all because of Abraham Hicks, you guys. Because the way that Abraham Hicks delivers it, and Abraham Hicks, you guys, if you guys don't remember from our last live, Abraham is a spiritual, non-physical entity that Esther Hicks, Esther is a woman, a physical human woman, but she is channeling Abraham. So she channels Abraham. So she is speaking the words, but she's getting them from blocks of thoughts that she is getting from this non-physical source energy that she calls Abraham. Okay? So you guys will see when I talk about Abraham, I get so extremely passionate because I want more people to be able to awaken to this knowledge, to be able to remember where we came from. Because if more people awaken to this knowledge and remember where we came from, your lives, everybody's lives, just humankind in its entirety would be so much more beautiful and positive if we could get more people to remember that we came here to enjoy life, to experience life, just to have this human experience. We came here to experience love, joy, peace, happiness. And so I'm on a mission trying to help awaken people so that you guys all remember where we all came from. Cece said, love, wow, really? Cece said, love Abraham Hicks. Helped me get out of a deep depression at 19. Wow. Cece, that was the same for me. I was literally going through a dark night of the soul. And I was like at a mentally, just emotionally, just exhausted and drained, and was like, what is the purpose of it all? And Abraham Hicks came into my life, and I have not been the same. I have not been the same. Okay, you guys, so when we last had our last live, I was just basically giving you guys an introduction to this book, Ask and It Is Given, Learning to Manifest Your Desires by Esther and Jerry Hicks. And so if you guys haven't seen that first video part of this series, you can take it back and watch that after this one, and watch that where I was talking about the introduction of who is Abraham, who is Jerry, who is Esther. But I just gave you guys a quick synopsis of Abraham is a non-physical spiritual being that Esther Hicks is channeling. Okay, so today we're going to start with chapter 1. Okay, so chapter 1 is the power of feeling good now. We are called Abraham, and we are speaking to you from the non-physical dimension. Of course, you must understand that you also have come forth from the non-physical dimension. So we are not so different from one another. Good morning, buenos dias. Your physical world has come forth from the projection of the non-physical. In fact, you and your physical world are extensions of the non-physical source energy. In this non-physical realm, we do not use words, for we do not require language. We also do not have tongues with which to speak or ears with which to hear, although we do communicate perfectly with one another. Our non physical language is one of vibration, and our non physical communities or families are those of intention. In other words, we radiate that which we are vibrationally, and others of like intent assemble. That is also true of your physical world, although most of you have forgotten that this is so. Abraham is a family of non physical beings, naturally assembled by our powerful intention to remind you, our physical extensions, of the laws of the universe that govern all things. It is our intention to help you remember that you are extensions of source energy, that you are blessed, loved beings, and that you have come forth into this physical time space reality to joyously create. All who are physically focused have non physical counterparts. There is no exception to that. All who are physically focused have access to the broader perspective of that which is non physical. There is no exception to that. But most physical beings have become so distracted by the physical nature of your planet that you have developed strong patterns of resistance that thwart your clear connection to your own source. It is our intention to help those who are asking to remember that connection. While all physical humans have access to the clear communication from the non physical, most are not consciously aware of it. And often, even when you are aware that it is possible, you hold habits of thoughts that act as resistance, hindering your ability to consciously interact. However, on occasion, a clear channel of communication opens, and we are able to convey our understanding vibrationally to someone who can clearly receive it and translate it. And that is what is happening here through Esther. We offer our knowing vibrationally in a way that is similar to what you understand as radio signals. And Esther receives those vibrations and translates them into the physical word equivalent. There are not, however, adequate physical words to convey our satisfaction and joy in being able to offer our knowing to you in this way at this time. It is our powerful desire that you be pleased with where you are right now, in this moment, no matter where you are. We understand how strange these words must sound to you if you are standing in a place that seems far from where you want to be. But it is our absolute promise to you that when you understand the power of feeling good now, no matter what, you will hold the key to the achievement of any state of being, any state of health, any state of wealth, or any state of anything that you desire. These pages are specifically written to give you a better understanding of yourself and of everyone else around you. And you may find some of that helpful, but words really do not teach. Your true knowledge comes from your own life experience. And while you will be a constant gatherer of experience and knowledge, your life is not only about that. It is about fulfillment, satisfaction, and joy. Your life is about the continuing expression of who you truly are. You only hear what you are ready to hear. We are talking to you at many levels of your awareness, all at the same time, but you will only receive whatever you are now ready to receive. Everyone will not get the same thing from this book, but every reading of this book will net you something more. This is a book that will be read many times by those who understand its power. That is so true. It is a book that will help physical beings understand their relationship to God and to all that they really are. This is a book that will help you understand who you really are, who you have been, where you are going, and all that you continue to be. This book will help you understand that you never, ever get it done. It will help you understand your relationship with your history and with your future. But most important, it will awaken within you your awareness of the potency of your powerful now. You will learn how you are the creator of your own experience and why all of your power is in your now. And ultimately, this book will lead you to an understanding of your emotional guidance system and to understanding of your vibrational set point. Here you will find a series of processes that will assist you in reconnecting with the non-physical part of yourself. Processes that will help you in achieving anything you desire. And as you apply these processes and as your memory awakens to the powerful laws of the universe, your naturally joyful zest for life will return. See, I didn't even say I was not going to get passionate on this topic because I already know I can't even help myself. Cece said, I also love the late Louise Hayes. Yes, I listened to her too. Louise Hayes and Esther Hicks were good friends. May she resting in peace. Yes. You guys, you'll find that some of these really popular, well-known motivational speakers were mentored and listened to and received a lot of their guidance and inspiration from Abraham. For example, a person that I found out that listened to and received a lot of his inspiration from Abraham was Tony Robbins. Yes. Chapter 2. We are keeping our promise to you. We are reminding you of who you are. Do you know what you want? Do you know that you are the creator of your own experience? Are you enjoying the evolution of your desire? Do you feel the freshness of a new desire pulsing within you? If you are among the rare humans who answered, yes, I'm enjoying the evolution of my desire, I feel wonderful as I stand in this place where many things that I desire have not yet come to me, then you understand who you are and what this physical life experience is really all about. But if you are, as most humans are, feeling unhappy about your unfulfilled desires, if you have a desire for more money, but you find yourself in a continual state of shortage, if you are not satisfied with your job situation, but you feel stuck and cannot see any way of improving it, if your relationships are not satisfying, or if the dream relationship that you have desired for as long as you can remember continues to be just out of reach, if your body does not feel or look the way you would like, then there are some very important and rather easy to understand things that we would like to convey to you here. You guys, this is why when I'm talking to you, oftentimes, you guys, I am talking about when you guys remember and realize You are creating your reality. You are creating your life experience. When you wrap your minds around that, you guys, it is so freaking empowering. Like, not only wrap your minds around it, but like, think about that, like, consume that, digest that, like, really sit with that. Like, if you can really come to the conclusion of, I came here to have a life experience. I came here to experience all these different facets of what we call reality. I can create my own life experience. I can create my own life path. I am the creator. It's me. It's not this mythical character who is just saying you got to go this way and you got to go that way, and it's all predetermined. When you guys can just wrap your minds around, I can change this thing whenever, however I want. That is so freaking empowering, you guys. Because even when things happen to you that you don't necessarily desire, you can just quickly go, I can change this. As opposed to when you think that the power lies, or you allow the power to lie in all these external forces, things, people, places, events. Oh, I can't do that because somebody won't let me. Oh, I can't move here because, somebody said that that's not my right path. I'm not supposed to do that. Oh, I can't get a job or a promotion because, this boss won't promote me. You're putting all the power in somebody else's hands. One second, you guys. Let me shut this door. I absolutely love to hear the landscaping, you guys. Oh my God, I love hearing the grass cutting and things like that. Oh, but I'm trying to talk to you guys and it's getting kind of loud. I think it's my neighbor's. I think it's my neighbor's landscaper, so it's like really close. Okay, when you guys can get your minds around, you're creating it. I know at first, most people just cannot get their minds around that. And I'm going to just say this, and this upsets a lot of people. But I have to just say it because I have to keep it 100% real with you guys. A lot of people don't want to embrace this idea of, it's me. I'm attracting all that is coming to me. I am creating this reality that I'm in. Most people don't want to embrace that idea, you guys, because imagine if they're in a situation where they're feeling like they are, being, people are doing things wrong to them, or they're experiencing the injustice of it all, or they feel like, they can't get ahead because of this. That allows them to stay in this victim mode, you guys. And I just have to say it. A lot of humans out there, they won't say that they enjoy being a victim. They won't use that terminology, but they really do enjoy being a victim. Because when you tell people you don't have to stay in that spot, you don't have to keep sitting in that mindset of trauma and victimhood. Oftentimes, you guys, people don't want to hear that. They want to just keep talking about it. But no, somebody did do me wrong. No, somebody was racist toward me. No, somebody didn't give me a promotion. And it's like, when you try to introduce like the thoughts of Abraham and you go, you can change it all. You don't have to rely on your boss to give you a promotion. You can start your own business. And all of your hard work, effort, and energy can go toward your own business. And you can make as much money as you will allow yourself to make. You can get as many clients as you allow yourself to make. You don't have anybody to blame. Do you guys see what I mean? Oftentimes people don't Oftentimes people don't like to take the accountability and responsibility. They want to just sit in the blame game. Well, I would move out the country, but you know, my husband, he don't want to do that. He said he don't want to do that. Okay, you got a choice then. Do you really want to move out the country? Or do you really want to be with your husband? Make the choice. Either way, you're still creating your reality. I remember I was talking to a friend, and they were talking about this new job opportunity that was coming up. And at the same time, they had started a new romantic relationship. And they kept saying that they really was hoping that they, got this new job. They were, like in the limbo state of, the job letting them know whether or not they actually got the job. And so they were saying to me, I really want this job. I really want this job. The words that were coming out of their mouth was, I really want this job. But if they would have taken that job would have taken them out of the state that they were living in. In the state that they were living in, they had just started this new romantic relationship with this guy. He can't move. He needed to be there for his job. And so she was saying out of her mouth, no, I really want this job. I really want this job. But her vibrations, I didn't say anything to her when she was talking. But what I was getting off of her was her desire for this man and this relationship, this beautiful relationship that she was experiencing with this guy. And when she would talk about the job opportunity, it was like, yes, I want to take that job. But when she would talk about the man and that relationship, you could just hear just all of the love and the desire that she had for that relationship and being with that man. And so it literally came to a point where, like, I believe, like, subconsciously, she like sabotaged herself in getting that job. And when the job didn't come through and they went with somebody else, I told her then, I said, I don't think that was your number one priority. And she was like, what do you mean? No, I really wanted that job. And I said, I think you wanted that man and that relationship more. I said, your vibrations were very intense. The frequency I was getting off of you and the vibrational feeling I was getting off of you was that you desired that man and that relationship more than that job. And it's okay. There's no right or wrong way to do it, you guys. There's no right or wrong way to do it. It's just that, as I was trying to explain to her, you are creating your reality. So when the job didn't come through, I was like, don't be upset about it. I said, because you clearly had a higher vibrational, your more dominant vibration was for that relationship. And you knew that taking a job out of that state and that man was not going to be able to go with you would probably jeopardize that relationship. I said, so your more dominant vibration was clearly for this relationship and this man. You created that reality. I said, which means that you're just going to find work where you are. Because you guys know, as I'm always saying, you can have, do, or be anything. But just understand, you're creating it. Like, we're just creating it as we go along. You guys, that is so empowering when you can get your mind around that. Because even when you find yourself in a situation that may not be desirable, you can literally go, you can just look at it like you would a work of art. You can just go, I'm going to create something else. How empowering is that, you guys, to just be able to say, I don't like this state. I don't like my current reality. I want something else. And then just start working on that something else. I hear so many people, they're like, I want this, I want that, I want this. And they stay in this state of scarcity. Oh, but I don't have enough money to do that. I don't have enough money to do that. I don't have enough time to do that. And I'm like, just make the shift. Stop speaking in scarcity and just speak and know that there's an abundance of everything. Instead, just speak in this tongue. You guys know how powerful your words are. Instead of saying, I don't have enough time, I don't have enough money, or my husband is here and I want to leave out the country, but he don't want to leave out the country, just know that you're creating your own reality. So just make the decision. I value and I'm dominating on a higher vibration of I want to be in this relationship with my husband. And so therefore, I'd rather be with my husband and stay in this country because it's more important to me and my desire is higher to be with my husband, no matter where we are. Or my more dominant vibration is, no, I really want to move out the country. And so if he come along, great. If not, I'm going to move and I'll probably find somebody. You'll find somebody in another country. But just know that you're creating it all. Whereas oftentimes people are like, oh, like in that example with the husband not wanting to move out the country. Most people go, oh, and they get either upset or they start having resentment toward the husband because you didn't do what I wanted you to do. Or they may become confrontational with that husband. You know, why don't you want to leave out there, and be very argumentative? Or they may just stay in the country that they don't want to live in and just like, just like, okay. And then you start living this life based off of another human, your husband in this example. Whereas when you get your mind around, it's your life, you guys. It's your life experience. You can create it and design it and make it move or look however you want. And just have trust and faith in your own self. Have trust and faith in your own inner source, non-physical source energy that it's going to all work out. It's just going to all work out. Oftentimes people will just do a thing or live a lifestyle that they don't even want. I've seen so many people who are just like, they became doctors or lawyers because their parents wanted them to do that. And then they grow up and they're like, I hate my life. Like, I am so dissatisfied. And I'm like, because you're doing things that you don't naturally or organically or even want to do. What I have found, you guys, is that most people do not understand their power within. And they give away their power to other people. Oh, well, this person has to know what's best for me because they're my mother. This person has to know what's best for me because they're my father. Oh, they're my older brother. They're my aunt. They're my uncle. Instead of doing what I oftentimes recommend and ask you guys to do, go within and ask your non-physical Abraham. Ask your non-physical source energy, show me, guide me. What is the best thing? What is the best thing for my life experience? Oftentimes people are just like holding on to like relationships that they know stopped serving them years ago. But because they're like, how is this gonna make me look? I don't want to go through a divorce. That just looks so bad. Or I don't want to drop out of medical school because I've already put like so many years into it. Or that's what my parents want. Or I don't want to, say no to my child because, they're going to be so mad or upset with me. Instead of like saying to yourself, ask yourself, what is best for me? Because everybody else, you guys. They have their own life to live. No one knows what's best for you more than you. I tell my son this all the time. I said, you're about to get to a point now where you're about to be doing your own thing on your own. I said, you need to know how to rely on you. You need to know how to go within and ask your own self, your own source energy that is always with you. I said, just start getting comfortable. When you're like at a crossroads with something, there's a decision that you need to make. I said, just because I'm not going to be there. And start having faith in yourself. Like, I can't get it wrong. Like Abraham often says, you can't get it wrong and you will never get it done. So when you guys can embrace those thoughts, I can't get it wrong. Why can you not get it wrong, you guys? Because it's your life experience. This is why oftentimes I'm telling you guys, there's no such thing as a mistake. There's no such thing as, oh man, I wish that wouldn't have happened to me when I was a child. Everything that has happened to you has led you to where you are right now. There is no need to continue looking back in the past and looking in your rearview mirror, beating yourself up, beating other people up about something that happened to you in the past. It's in the past. Let it go. Thank it for bringing you to where you are now. So Brian cheated on you, divorced you, and left you with $1 in the bank. Okay. Okay. Like, don't keep telling the story. Just know I create my own experience. Wait a minute. I create my own reality. Wow. So my husband that I was married to for 20 years just cheated on me, came home and said that he's leaving me for the maid, and drained the bank accounts and left me with $1. Look at that as like, wow, here's a clean slate. I basically am like starting all over. I can now create whatever reality I want. You can just ask yourself, what am I passionate about? You can create a business. That is the beauty that I tell you guys about. Oftentimes about one of the great things that came out of the Chanel 19 is that it forced a lot of people to like create their own businesses. A lot more people just started having more of a social media presence. Have businesses that's all online. It's not like it used to be back in the day where you needed to have so much capital to start a business. You guys can literally become life coaches for free. You don't have to invest anything. Just invest your own time and expertise. People are starting to become entrepreneurs and making their own money. And people started just becoming so freaking creative. I told you guys last Saturday about the young lady RRG, who has a really nice YouTube channel, but she parlayed that off into making snacks. People just started becoming so freaking creative. So instead of like looking at something like somebody did something to you, you can just start looking at it like, this was done for me. This was done in order to trigger me or wake me up to, I can do now anything I want to do. I can live anywhere I want to live. I can create whatever business I want to create. I'm literally creating my own reality. I'm literally creating it. I put this in practice so much, you guys, that I literally love looking down this list that I have on my phone of things that I want to manifest. I love looking down this list and looking at all the things that I have already manifested. because it's just a reminder of, because Tracy, you can literally have anything you want. Like you can literally have. Like that's exactly how I walk around all day, every day, you guys. I'm like, I can have anything I want. I look at the world like literally like my oyster. I'm like, there are no limits. I can have anything I want. I don't even talk in scarcity. I don't even know what that means. I'm always talking in abundance. I'm like, it's about to be. I'll literally like say things like, I'm about to get a windfall of money. I don't know where it's coming from. Just the other day, I was sitting down. I was making my coffee the other morning, and I was like, because I like look at the world like I can have anything I want. Just the other morning, I was sitting down having coffee, and I was like, I haven't actually verbalized or vocalized something that I want recently. And I was like literally sitting there, you guys. I was like literally like, I found it very difficult to actually vocalize something that I wanted because I literally walk around in this mindset of I have everything I want. Like I have everything that I want. I have everything that I want. Even when it comes to things like, you guys know that my goal is to move out of the country. Even that, I'm not like, oh, I want that to come right now. I want it to come right now. I'm like, no, it's going to come exactly when it's supposed to come. I'm like, when it's time for me to move out the country, it's going to be that perfect time. You don't want everything all at once, you guys. I realized that like, no, it's not time for me to move right now because I have things that I still need to set up here. I don't want to move out the country and don't have my businesses and my sons and their lifestyle. I want to get them set up first. That's what I want. I don't want to have to leave out the country and just because it's now. It's like, no, I want to have everything set up because I know if I were to just leave now without getting and preparing everything the way that I want it to be, all I'm going to do is go to that other country and then I'm going to worry about this. You know, oh man, I wish I would have set them up with that. Oh, I don't want to worry about any of that. So even when it comes to like things like my desires and manifestations, this is why I'm always telling you guys, don't try to rush it. Don't try to say it has to happen now. It has to happen next month. Just enjoy the journey because it's the life experience that you really love. It's the experience. It's on the way of just like enjoying the little bits and pieces on the way. So like, although I have a desire and a goal to move out of the country, I am enjoying the everyday preparation process of getting ready. Like I enjoy like, you know, going into my closets and looking at clothes that I know I'm not going to wear anymore and packing them up and putting them in the bag and giving them to, you know, the needy or the donating them or enjoying the journey of, you guys know this next segment that we're about to enter into, the family is about to enter into, is that I really need to get the guys set up because the guys will be running the landscaping business while we're out of the country. So I'm like, I really need to get them set up. They need to be in a totally different house. We need to be in a house that has a lot of land because we have so many trucks. We have so many trailers. The business is booming, is growing really well. This house is not conducive for that. So I'm planning. I'm in the phase of just enjoying planning on the next step or phase in our life where we're going to, you know, move to a house that has more land where we're not so tight. You know, we can't even park all of our trucks and equipment in one space. We have trucks on somebody's land over here and we're parking trailers over there. And when the guys go to work, they have to decide, you know, where and what they're doing that day, and then they gotta drive over here to this location and don't get me wrong, you guys, you know that we are completely blessed that we have had and found some amazing people who don't even charge us to allow us to put our trailers and park our trailers and our trucks and stuff on their land. That is awesome. However, we need to be in a place, in a location where we can keep all of our equipment, all of our trucks, all of our trailers on our land. Where one, we can make sure that they're always secure, but two, to just make it easier for these guys when we leave, so that they got their route for the day, they have their calendar, they just decide what trailer they're using that day, hook it up to whatever truck they're using that day, and they can just go on about their merry way. So the process of just like getting the guys set up, making sure that if it's as easy as possible flow for them when we're not here is very, very important to me. So I'm just enjoying the journey, you guys. Just enjoying the journey. Oftentimes, people will be, for instance, say somebody wants to manifest a large house. And they're like, oh, I want this big house. I want this big luxury house, this, that, and the other. And they can get so consumed on, man, but right now I'm just in this studio apartment and I'm just in this apartment and I don't know how I'm going to get the money for the house and oh, my job and all this stuff. And I'm always trying to tell you guys, the fastest way to get everything you want is one, set your desire. Say it. Vocalize it. What do you want? Then move from a place of abundance. Like have this abundance mindset of just, it's out there. Everything that I want. If I desire it, it is already out there, you guys. This is a game. This is a game. That's why I'm always telling you guys, you need to just look at this life that we call reality, like the younger kids look at these games that I say kids, grown men play games, grown people, period, play games. I told Gary just the other day, I said, I'm about to start getting into gaming. But you guys need to start looking at this thing we call reality like it's a game. Like just start looking at it like, when you're playing the game, you're like, okay, I'm trying to get enough points so that I can get a new coat or a new car for my avatar. You need to start looking at this here life reality like it is a game. Like I can have anything I want. It's just about a matter of time. It already exists. Whatever you desire, you guys, it already exists. It's just in a vibrational form. It's just going to take some time, what we call time and space, before it presents itself in front of you in its physical form. But just know it already exists. So it's just a matter of what we call time. So you might as well just be enjoying your life. Put out there what you want. Vocalize what it is that you desire. Have this mindset of it's an abundance of that thing. It's already out there waiting for me. Stay in this just like positive mindset. And instead of speaking the words of scarcity, I don't have the money. I don't know when. I don't know how it's going to come. How am I going to get the money for the deposit? Don't even say the words, and definitely don't even have the thoughts. You can have anything. Just speak the words of what you want. Know that it already exists. That house, that perfect house for you already exists. It's out there. It's just waiting on you. Stay positive, you guys. Visualize it. Just visualize that thing that you want to desire, that you desire to have. Just visualize it. Just always just be visualizing it like, I'm about to have this house. I already have the house. You guys, I have manifested so much. So much. Sometimes I can get just overwhelmed with gratitude. Like, how did I do that? Sometimes I'm like, how did I do that? And then I'll remember Abraham. And I'm like, because everything is vibrational. Because all you do is just put it out there to the universe. And that is a law of the universe. The law of attraction is real. You want it? You put it out there, you stay positive, you visualize, you act as if you already have it. This is why oftentimes people's manifestations don't come to them, because they vocalize it, they put it out there, but then they start complaining, or then they start becoming very low vibrational, or speaking words of scarcity, and I don't know if I'm gonna get it. I did what Tracy said. I said I wanted this, but there's a windfall of money, but I don't know why I'm not getting it. It's because you're talking and vibrating so low. When you put it out there, you guys, just assume it's coming. It's coming. It's coming. Just know it's coming. And when it comes, you guys, you'll be like me. You'll just start looking at your list of things like, oh my God, I manifested that so fast. I'm telling you guys, it has gotten to the point where I will manifest things so freaking fast. I'm like, that is insane. Boo Thing and I were out the other last weekend. And I was telling him what area I wanted to live in. And it's, just different parts of town around, Las Vegas. They're developing so much in Las Vegas, you guys, that they're taking a lot of land. And they're building houses like super, super close together. But there's still some areas where you don't have to drive so far outside of the city. There's still some areas, relatively close to everything that still have like half an acre of land or acre of land. And so last weekend I was like, I want to, show you the area. I told you guys, this is just how I talk. I'm like, we're there. We're already there. I'm like, so all we need, I literally look and look at life like I'm trying to tell you guys. I'm like, we can have anything. Because in my mind, you guys remember when I manifested this house. This house is what I wanted at that time. But you guys know we're always evolving and changing, and our lifestyles are changing. I love that about myself. I'm always evolving. I'm always changing. I was just talking to someone last week, and I hadn't talked to them in a really long time. And so they were unaware that I had went through a divorce last year. And so they were like, wow, I did not know this, and the other. And so they were about to start, I guess, like, oh, I'm so sorry to hear that type of thing. And I like stopped them in their tracks. I was like, no. I said, no, there's nothing to be sorry for. I said, that person, my ex, is doing well. I've wished him well. And we've gone on around our way. I have thanked him for the time that we had and released him. I said, no. I said, don't say the word sorry for me. I said, I have moved on, and I got me a boo thing that I am just crazy about. And she started laughing so hard, and she gave me one of the best compliments. I don't think she thought she was giving me a compliment, but this was such a compliment to me. She started laughing. I said, don't feel sorry for me. I said, I have moved on, and I got a new boo thing, and baby. I said, I am having the time of my life. And she started laughing so hard, you guys. And then she gave me this compliment. And again, I don't think she thought she was giving me a compliment, but I took it as one of the best compliments. She said, that's one thing about you, Tracy. She said, you are not going to what is the saying? Let grass grow up under your feet or something like that. You guys know that saying, where basically like you are not going to sit still for long. She said, I love that about you. She said, you have never been the type of woman where you going to sit still for long. I said, absolutely not. Absolutely. Because that's exactly how I look at life, you guys. I'm like, okay, so you go through a divorce. I'm like, on to the next. I just look at life like that, you guys, whereas most people are like, I just went through a divorce and I don't know how I'm going to pay the bills. And he cheated on me. he left me with all these kids. Not Tracy. I'm like, divorce? Okay. I'm like, that was good at that time. That was good for me at that time. I'm now moved on. I'm not about to sit in nothing for too long. Like nothing. Not even death. You guys know I lost my aunt who was like a mom to me at the beginning of 22. January of 22. I wished her well. I sat and had my moment of, I am so happy this woman was in my life. I thought back on and reflected on a lot of the life experiences she talked to me about, and advice on life and men and just all kind of things. And I just sat in a space of just gratitude for having that woman in my life. And then I released it because I was just like, she's back in her non-physical source energy. And so now, you guys, I talk to her more than I did when she was living. You guys should hear me. I'm like, Brenda, did you see that nonsense? Her name was Brenda. I was like, Brenda. Or sometimes I'll say, oh, I do this a lot. You guys, you guys call me crazy. But you guys know what I feel about energy and source energy, and how I feel like we are in these physical bodies for a very temporary amount of time, short amount of time, and then we are back into non-physical. And whether we reincarnate back into these human form or animal form or tree form, I don't know. But I feel like our more dominant vibration is not this physical vibration, but this non-physical vibration. So I talk to my Aunt Brenda all the time. You guys should hear me. Sometimes I'm like, Brenda, boo thing is fine. I talk to my Aunt Brenda all the time. I didn't sit in any sorrow for weeks and months and just, oh my God, my aunt is dead. No, I was like, she's back into her source. She's back in or energy source. And who knows? Her energy could be into a whole other physical form now. I don't know. But all I know is that I feel more present and connected to her now, because I feel like she's like with me. And so I'm like, oh, I'll just say, oh, Brenda girl, this, that, that. I wasn't in no state of sadness. As a matter of fact, I didn't even go to the funeral. I didn't even want to see her. I didn't even want to see her in a box. I'm like, that was a shell. This flesh, this is a shell. When I found out that she had transitioned, I was like, Brenda, I'm not kidding. I was like, Brenda. People in my family could not understand that, and I was not interested in trying to explain it. I don't have the time to be trying to explain to you guys about Abraham Hicks and what I have learned through my spiritual awakenings. This was my thoughts as far as like trying to explain this to my family, why I didn't come to the funeral. I was like, I don't have the time. And even if I did have the time to try to explain it to you guys know most people only want to hear what they want to hear. And so they're just like, no, but you're supposed to come to a funeral. I'm like, I don't have to do a darn thing, ma'am. My aunt is right here. Her energy is right here. I celebrated her life when she was living. Because you guys remember, before she actually transitioned, we knew that she only had like a few months or something like that. So I went back to Missouri and I threw her this huge party. She used to love gambling and playing at the casino. So I threw her this casino party. I mean, it was fabulous. It was fabulous. And I think she knew then I wasn't coming back for no funeral. And I sat and I talked to her. I was there for like a week and a half. I sat every day. I came back to her apartment. I sat with her. We talked. I just was like in the moment. Just enjoy. Oh, we laughed. She told me so many experiences with men she had. We had a good time. I was massaging her hands because, she was in a lot of pain. And so I had brought her this CBD cream that they have here in Vegas. And I had brought her all these creams. And so I was massaging her hands, massaging her feet. just talking to her. We laughed. We had the best time. So when I found out, that was in November of 21, and then she transitioned in January of 22. When she transitioned, I was like, finally, now I can just talk to her however, whenever. It's right here. She's right here with me. And I told you guys, the day that I found out, they called me to say that she transitioned. I went out for a dinner that same night. I wasn't going to stand at home and just be crying and all this. I was like, that's just a shell. That's just a shell. She's back in her non-physical source. And so we went out and we had dinner. And you guys, I am not kidding. We were sitting at this dinner table at this fancy restaurant. And it was this huge chandelier above our heads. I forgot what casino this restaurant is in. It was a huge chandelier with all of these little bitty light bulbs up in this huge chandelier right above our table, you guys. And while we were eating, I just got overwhelmed with all of this energy. And I was thinking to myself, I was like, Brenda, you are here. And I just said to myself, I didn't say it out loud. In my mind, I just said, show me that you are here. I said, show me that it's good, that you're good. It's good. It's okay. I just said it in my mind. I'm at a dinner with somebody, you guys, but I just kind of said that in my mind. When I said that in my mind, it's all kind of chandeliers all around the restaurant, you guys. Only the chandelier over our table started blinking like this. The light bulbs just started ding, 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 ding. Oh my God, you guys should have seen me. I literally had just tears just start rolling down my face because they were not tears of sadness, you guys. It was just like confirmation of everything I had known about transitioning and energy, that I was like, it was just confirmation, you guys. And it was just tears of just so much joy. I was like, oh my God, she is here. And I remember I looked at the person I was having dinner with and I said, she's here. Because I like pointing to the lights like that. I said, do you see this? Do you see this? And then he kind of looked around and saw that there were no other chandeliers blinking like that. It was just the one over our table. I said, do you see this? I said, that's her. That's her. I said, I just asked her to show me that she's okay. I said, and now the lights are blinking over the table. You guys, it was such a beautiful moment. It was such a beautiful moment. Janice, hey, Janice. Janice said, hi, sis. Everyone, great rising. Hey, Janice. Talking about one of my favorite topics, Janice, this Abraham Hicks. So I was saying all that to say, you guys, that when you evolve and your life needs change, go with it. Like, instead of just like sitting in a thing and being all sad, somebody died, somebody divorced me, somebody cheated on me. Use it as an opportunity to evolve and grow. Abraham often talks about how things happen for you. For instance, the woman who's all sad because her husband cheated on her and divorced her and left her with only $1 in the bank. That's going to force that woman to now figure out what she needs to do for a living. It's going to force her to. So instead of looking at things like, this happened to me, woe is me, I can't believe this happened to me. Instead, like, look at life, you guys. And when things happen to you that you feel are like conflict or contrast, look at it like, this just helped me evolve. This is what helped me to level up, to get to the next thing in life. For instance, you guys, when I went through my own divorce, I told you guys that I was like, okay, I wasn't woe is me or anything. I just was like, okay, source, because this is how I talk. I was like, source, show me another source of income. Show me an additional source of income. And I was just open to anything. You guys just have to be open, because oftentimes, you guys, when you ask source, when you ask universe for something, It will come from a place and a space that you could not have imagined. Like Boothing and I were just talking about that last night. He's like, I could not have imagined that I would have found you. Like I could not have imagined that I would have found a woman like you. Like I just, he was like, I just could not have imagined this. And this is what I'm always telling you guys. I don't even try to concern myself with how am I going to get the thing that I'm asking for? When is it coming? Where is it coming from? I don't ask any of those things. I just put it out there. Like I can get anything. So I just put whatever I want. I'm going to get it. So now when I manifested this house at that time, this is what I wanted. This is what I needed. And I told you guys, I literally visualized this house down to, it was uncanny when I found this house. I was like, that is crazy. You guys got to remember at the time in which I was manifesting a house, I don't know what it is now. I haven't really been paying attention to the market, real estate market. But at the time, everybody on the news, on YouTube, on all the social media, all the real estate agents were talking about how low inventory is, you know, how people are coming in to Las Vegas from California and all these other places, buying up all these property, putting down, purchasing property with cash, outbidding people. It was all this talk. I didn't listen to any of it. I was like, I'm gonna find my house. I was like, I know my house is out there. I know my house is out there. I'm not even worried about it. I just went on about my business. You guys got to remember at the time, I had sold my other house. So we were actually in a 2-bedroom apartment. But you guys remember, I didn't even call this a 2-bedroom apartment. So as I was in transition to getting a new house, you guys, it wasn't like I was already in a plush. I was in a nice house before, but I had moved and sold that house. So it wasn't like I'm saying, oh, of course, Tracy, you can be all light and fluffy free because you were in a nice big house. No, we had sold that house. So I was literally in a 2-bedroom apartment that I used to call my vacation home because I'm always telling you, you guys, it's all about your perspective. This is what I'm always explaining to you guys. If you believe that you'll never get ahead, if you believe that you always gonna live in the hood, if you believe that all men are suspect and they're not right and they're horrible creatures, then that's what you're gonna keep getting. But if you can just make that shift and start moving around in life like, I can get anything I want. I was literally in a 2-bedroom apartment. Don't get me wrong. The apartment was fab. But I told the people that I was living with, I said, do not call this an apartment. I said, this is our vacation home. It's a vacation home. We never even said the word apartment. Anytime I referred to that home, I was like, this is our vacation home. People were looking like, what? And people who knew where I lived were like, you mean the apartment? I'm like, don't say that. I said, I'm on vacation. To this day, you guys, when I pass by that building, that apartment complex, every time I pass that complex, which I just did yesterday, I literally get these feelings of just joy. I'm like, oh my God, that was my vacation home. You guys would think I was talking about a place up in Connecticut somewhere. I'm like, oh my God, that was my vacation home. Because I had such good time and memories there, you guys. Because I refuse to look at it like, oh, woe is me, I'm in a 2-bedroom apartment. Or when is the house coming? Or I don't know if we're ever going to get a house. No, you guys, every day was bliss. I just love decorating. I love meeting the new people in the building. I met some amazing people, you guys. It had parks in it. It had little dog parks in it. I used to take the dogs to the dog park, run around with them. Oh my God. Every time I pass what most people see is just an apartment building, I'm like, that was my vacation home. I wasn't worried about getting a new place at all, you guys. I just kept visualizing my new house, what it had, what it looked like. And as a result, I got everything that I asked for and then some. So now, because that's just how I move, you guys, now I'm on to the next. So I'm like, what do I want my new house to look like? Okay, I know it needs to have a lot of land. I know it needs to have space for all five of us. I know it needs to have this. I know it needs to have that. So last weekend I was like, come on, boo thing. I was like, let's go. Basically, like, let's go pick out our house. I was like, this. I know what area I want to live in, and so I was like, and I know this area has most of the properties in this area have a lot of land. It'll have plenty of land and space for our trailers and trucks and all of our equipment. I said, let's just go look. Let's go look at the houses. I'm not actually planning on making the move until next year. Probably like the first quarter of next year. But I'm already just like looking at houses. Like I'm telling you guys, like I'm looking at a catalog. I'm like, oh, I don't like that style. Now that style I do like. That style I do like. Okay, I like this configuration, and that's literally what we did just last weekend. We were like kids picking out what candy we wanted. I was like, no, I don't like that one because these houses aren't even up for sale. Some of them were, but a lot of these houses we were looking at, you guys, weren't even up for sale. But like I told Boo, I was like, when it's time for us to move, our perfect house is going to be available. It's just gonna be available. There is somebody out there who has not put their house up on the market yet. But I know for a fact, come next year, our perfect house is going. It's just gonna appear. It's just going to appear because that's how the universe works, you guys. It's a game. You just have to know and believe. Like the first chapter was saying, you have direct access to this infinite intelligence. Esther calls it Abraham. We all have access to this infinite intelligence, this higher non-physical being. Ask that non-physical being for guidance. Show me the way. Ask it for anything. I want a house. Say it out loud. Not I need a house. I want a house that has either an half an acre or an acre of land, the minimum, half acre of land, enough land for me to park all my trucks, all of my trailers, all of my equipment, that is easy and convenient access to the rest of the city, that has enough space and abundance of space for my family of 5. And just know, you guys, oh, you're going to get it. And then just move on about your day. Just continue to be positive, continue to be happy, continue to just be like, I'm just good. Life is good. Just do. And you will be amazed when these things just start showing up in your life. You will be amazed. And this is why I'm always asking you guys, just start putting some of these things into practice. Because when you start manifesting things, you're going to start having an attitude like me, like, I can get anything. I can get anything. You just start looking at life like literally it is a game. Like I am literally creating my reality. So now I'm visualizing. I just visualize me and my family just in our new house. I visualize it actually often, especially when they're coming back and forth up to this house, and how tight the driveway is. And we're trying to fit all this stuff in here. And even still, you guys know we can't even put all of our trucks and trailers here. We got them at different locations. So every time I see the guys, having to be real careful and meticulous, and backing these trailers into the garage and trying not to hit Matthew, and all this truck here, and we got such tight space, I don't get mad or upset. I'm just like, oh, our new house is coming. I just start visualizing it. I'm like, we have a lot of land. The other, no, this wasn't the other weekend. This was, this was maybe about 3 or 4 weeks ago. Boothing and I went to Springs Preserve. And there was this area in Springs Preserve that it was just this garden. But the way they had did this garden was that they built up these squares that were probably about 4 feet by 4 feet. And they imagine if it had like, what do they call it? Those are not pavers, but they're not bricks either. But imagine they built it up and then they put this square flat piece around it. And so it was like all of these huge 4 by 4 feet squares. And inside was all this soil, and they were growing different things. So in this square here, there's a better name for that. I'm not getting it. But anyway, so saying this square here, they were growing tomatoes. In this square here, they were growing pumpkins. In this square here, they were growing something else. You guys know how I feel about farming and growing my own food. Soon as I saw that, I was like, oh my God. And I looked at Boo Thing and I was like, I want you to make me a garden just like this. And we both kind of was like, yeah, because we're about to live on a piece of land where we're literally about to be able to do just this. So what do, you guys? I just visualize it all the time. Anytime I see them struggling back and forth with the trailers and the trucks and this this tight driveway, I'm like, I just start visualizing them having access to all this land where they're not going to have to struggle like that, where they're just going to be able to just pull into the spots and boom, 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 boom. I just visualize like, okay, we are going to have cameras all outside, so we'll be able to see on camera our equipment and our tools and our trucks and trailers. So we, I just visualize, I'm like, we're going to have either a gate or fencing or wall around our property, so we're not going to have to worry about the security of our things. I just start visualizing it. And when I went to Springs Preserve and saw that garden, I dropped that garden right down in my visualization. I was like, Boo Thing is going to make me a garden like that. I want boxes just like that. It was so freaking beautiful, you guys. I was like, I want this. And he was like, really? You want? I said, just like this. And I literally, you guys, if I remember, I'm going to try to upload the pictures or some of the video footage that I took, because I literally was like, this, sorry, no, I can have anything I want. I literally just started taking pictures of it. I was like, I stood back. I was like, okay. I was like, all right, it's done. He was like, I can do that for you. I said, I know you can. Okay, so let's continue on. It says, is that where I left off? No, that's the foreword. Was I in chapter 3, you guys? Dang, I was trying to dog ear it, but then I moved the book. Wait a minute. Oh, no, I did not read this, and this is so important. We're still in chapter 2. It says, we want to give you this information because we, the non-physical Abraham, it's not just Abraham, you guys. It's just this non-physical source energy. It's saying, we want to give you this information because we want you to find your way to all things that you desire. But that is really only a small part of our reason, for we understand that even when you have achieved everything on your current list of things that you desire, there will be another list. This is what I'm always trying to stress to people when I'm like, you're going to just keep wanting more. So just enjoy the journey of where or what you want now. But just know that when you achieve that thing, like I was just talking to you guys about this house, you're just going to want more. You should never just be just complacent and just, okay, I'm here. This is all I want. You never just stop, you guys. As long as you're living, you're going to be evolving. You're going to always want more. And that is the point of it all. Let me read that again. But that is really only a small part of our reason. For we understand that even when you have achieved everything on your current list of things that you desire, there will be another list, even longer and more expansive, to take its place. So, this book is not being written to assist you in getting everything you want checked off your list, for we understand the impossible nature of that endeavor. We write this book to reawaken within you your memory of the power and inevitable success that pulses through the core of that which you really are. We write this book to assist you in returning you to your place of optimism, positive expectation, and expanding joy, and to remind you that there is nothing that you cannot be, do, or have. We write this book because we promised you we would. And now, as you hold this book in your hands, you are completing a promise you made as well. You said, I will live in joy. You said that. That was part of the contract, you guys, before you came into these human physical bodies. That you would enjoy your life experience. Not be doped up on Xanax and pills because you're stressed and are filled with anxiety and fear and depression. That wasn't the contract. The contract and the agreement was that you would come here and live in joy. I said I wasn't going to get this passionate. I see so many people out there suffering, you guys, and I literally just want to say to them, that was not the agreement. The agreement was that you would come here in this life experience and enjoy the ride. You guys, that would be the equivalence when you see people out here suffering. That would be the equivalence of somebody going to a theme park. And they done bought their ticket. They done spent $50 to get into, how much were those tickets? You guys know a couple of years ago we went to Universal Studios. I don't know, $50, $60 to get into Universal Studios. You bought the ticket to have fun. You wanted to go in there and have fun. Human suffering is like going in there, spending all that money in a theme park with the intent to have fun, and then you done stood in that long line to get to the point where now you get to go on a Jurassic Park ride. And then when you get there, after standing in line for 2 hours, you're like, no. I'm gonna just go back to the back of the line and just suffer some more. I'm just gonna go to the back of the line and stand in line for 2 and 3 more hours and suffer. You guys have forgotten. You came here to enjoy the journey of waiting in the line and the anticipation. I'm about to get on the ride, but get on the ride. See, I said, I told you guys, I can't even help myself. I cannot stop myself from getting passionate about this. Because I need you guys to remember. Get on the ride. Enjoy the life ride. Have fun. Stop backing out away from the ride, talking about, no, I'd rather be a victim and talk about all the bad things that happened to me. No, I don't want to get on the ride. I'd rather sit in line for 2 more hours and talk and complain to the other people in the line, talking about, can you believe we in this 2-hour line? Get on the ride. Enjoy your life. That was part of the agreement, you guys, that you were going to come from this non-physical source. And for this like blip in what we call time and space, you were going to come into this human body for this blip of time to have fun. Like to have fun. So can you guys not see why I get so passionate about this when I see so many humans suffering? I'm like, you didn't come here to suffer. You didn't come here to save everybody else. You didn't come here to be, I'm going to try to run the world and I'm going to try to control everybody and I'm going to try to. You came here to just live. Like you came here because you wanted to enjoy. What does it feel like to make passionate love to the point where tears start coming down your eyes? You came here because you said, I want to experience what it feels like to have some grilled chicken that is seasoned perfectly. I want to know what it smells like to have some luxury lotion that smells and feels so creamy and good on my skin. I want to know what it's like to smell a beautiful flower or a rose. I want to know, and I want to have the human experience of what it feels like when you fall in love. Because you guys got to remember, when you're in your non-physical state, when you're just back in source energy, these things of flowers and time and space and falling in love, these are human concepts, you guys. These are human concepts. We made this up. Money, chairs, this is human concepts, you guys. So when you were in your non-physical source energy, you're not experiencing any of this. It's just nothingness. It's just nothingness. So you are happy when you get the opportunity to come back in a physical form because you just want to experience these things. You just want to experience what it feels like to have an amazing cup of coffee. What does that taste like? Pumpkin spice coffee with some half and half. You came here just to experience life. So many people have forgotten that. And they have gotten so consumed with stress and overworking themselves that they forgot that they were supposed to just enjoy life. Now, yes, we are going to work because part of our human concept is we need to work in order to buy things, in order to experience the things. So, okay, we're going to work, but so many humans have forgotten, and so they are overworking themselves, which then is leading to so much stress and depression and anxiety. So many humans have forgotten that we came here to enjoy life and the human experience, and they so caught up with wars, or they so caught up with debating other humans about the right or the wrongness of a thing, not remembering or realizing is there's no right or wrong. Even right and wrong, you guys, is a human concept. There is no right or wrong, you guys. It just is. If more people could realize that, you guys, do you not see how many things could be avoided or eliminated? Like wars and debates and struggle and suffering. There's no right or wrong. It just is. Let me repeat that. You said, part of your agreement before you came into this human body, I'm trying to remind you, you said, I will live in joy. You said, I will go forth into the physical time, space, reality among other beings, and I will assume an identity with a clear and specific perspective. I will learn to see myself from that point of view, and I will enjoy being seen as that point of view. Remember, I was telling you guys, when you decided what experience you wanted to have. So if you are, for example, a black person, and you are going, oh, I experienced racism, or, people are treating me different because I'm a black person. Just remember, you chose to have that experience. You chose, I want to be a black person. I want to have this. Like, imagine you guys, like, it's just, again, like a catalog. Like, imagine, like, your source energy, and you are, like, experiencing nothing. You're not experiencing good. You're not experiencing bad. You're not experiencing coffee. You're not experiencing chocolate. You're not experiencing being in love, but you're not experiencing hate. You're not experiencing light. You're not experiencing dark. You're not experiencing right. You're not experiencing wrong. There is no heaven. There is no hell. There's just nothingness. And you're actually choosing. Part of your agreement is, I want to know or experience life as a black woman. I want to know what that feels like to be a black woman and to be seen as a black woman. I want to know what that experience is like. This is what you decided, guys. So when you guys can put your mind around that, then it's like there's no room for woe is me or victimhood, because you're like, I chose to be in that physical form because I wanted to know and feel that experience. She goes on. You said, I will observe what surrounds me, and my response to what I observe will cause my own valuable personal preferences to be born. You said, I will know the value of my preferences. I will know the value of my perspective. And then you said, and this is the most important part of all, I will always feel the power and value of my own personal perspective. For the non-physical energy that creates worlds will flow through my decisions, my intentions, and my every thought. For the creation of that which I set into motion from my perspective. You knew then, before your physical birth, that you were source energy, specifically focused in this physical body. And you knew that the physical person you would become could never be separated from that which you came from, which is source energy. You understood then your eternal connection to that source energy. You said, I will love pouring myself into this physical body, into physical time, space, reality. For that environment will cause me to focus the powerful energy that is me into something more specific. And in the specifics of that focus, there will be powerful motion forward and joy. We know who you are. So you came forth into this wonderful body, remembering the joyous, powerful nature that is you, knowing that you would always remember the splendor of the source from which you came, and knowing that you could never lose your connection to that source. So now, here we are, helping you remember that no matter how you may feel right now, you cannot lose your connection to that source. We are here to help you remember the powerful nature that is you and to assist you in returning to that confident, joyful, always looking for something else wonderful to turn your attention to person that is you. Since we know who you are, we will easily help you remember who you are. Since we are where you came from, we will easily remind you of where you have come from. Since we know what you desire, we will easily guide you to help yourself to that which you desire. This is why I'm always telling you guys, stop asking another human for advice. Ask your inner self. So that's how I want to preach, but I don't understand how I said that because I get too passionate. We came from source energy. We are source energy, just presenting in different forms. I am source energy presenting as what you guys may see as a black woman called Tracy. That is source energy presenting itself as a palm tree. This is source energy presenting itself as a flower. We are all energy. When you guys can wrap your minds around the fact that we all come from the same source, do you guys not see how then you don't have the room in your heart to judge anybody? Because you're like, that's me. That's me too. Over there presenting itself as a white man. That's me too. Over there presenting itself as a cypress tree. That's me too. Over there presenting itself as conejos, as rabbits, as bunnies. We all come from the same source energy. If that is the case, guys, that means there's no room for judgment. There's no room for right or wrong, good or bad. It all came from source. Yes, you guys, even the people out there doing horrific things, they too came from source. Wanting to experience what it's like to be a negative, low vibrational person. Yeah. Let me say this, you guys. In this human space that we call reality, we need the dark so that we know what light is. I know. You guys are like, well, what? Yes. If you don't have the hate, you don't know what love feels like. If you don't have sadness, you don't know what joy feels like. Like the law of duality and polarity. You guys, you got to have it. It's a law of the universe. We live in the universe. It is a law. You've got to have polar opposites. You don't know love if you did not see or know sadness or hate. You don't know what light feels like, looks like, if you don't know dark. There can't be a universe, you guys, where everything is the same. Everything is positive. Everything is light. Because then light is not light if there's not darkness to compare it to. Good is not good, these human concepts. Good is not good if you don't have bad to compare and contrast. It's not good anymore if everything is just good, if everything is just natural, if everything is just neutral. It would just become neutral then. If everything was good, then it would just become neutral. So do you guys see now why we need bad people? Like a lot of times these people will say, you need the haters. It's true. Because the haters is what make you know how good you are. Or oftentimes I'll hear the younger people say, the haters is what makes me shine. You need the haters, you guys. It can't all be perfect because that's not the human experience. You need to have divorces and bad things happen to you so that you can expand and evolve. If there's no contrast, you can't evolve. If there's nothing that triggers you to change your life or evolve into something new, do you guys know how many billionaires, successful business owners, they always talk oftentimes about this kind of dark time in their life, or a time when they just weren't doing so well, or maybe a traumatic childhood. It's only because of those things that brought them to the point, or they will say, and that's what kind of motivated me to want to start my own business. Or because of this is what motivated me to want to go on and start this new business. You guys, oftentimes they will talk about these very extremely successful people. They will talk about this time in their life when things weren't so good. But they will almost always say, because of that time in their life, that dark time in their life, is the reason why they're so successful. Because of that dark time in their life was the triggering or the catalyst in their life that propelled them to want to do better in life, or to start their own business, or possibly somebody who got fired from a job. They'll say, they can look back on it and say, I'm glad that person fired me, or I'm glad that person didn't give me that job, because that was the inspiration and the motivation that made me want to go and start my own business. So you need the dark, you guys. Hola, mi amor. ¿Cómo estuvo tu día?
Muy bien.
Muy bien. Baby, what time do you want to leave?
Only like after 4.
After 4. Okay, perfect. I got time. You need that darkness, you guys, in order to see the light, in order to expand and grow. Okay. Where did I leave off? There is nothing that you cannot be, do, or have. We want you to remember that there is nothing that you cannot be, do, or have. And we want you to assist you in achieving that. but we love where you are right now, even if you do not, because we understand how joyful the journey from where you are to where you want to go will be. We want to help you leave behind any perceptions you have picked up along your physical trail that are thwarting your joy and power. And we want to help you reactivate the powerful knowing that pulses within the very core of that which you are. So relax and enjoy this easy paced journey to rediscovering who you really are. It is our desire that by the time you reach the end of this book, you will know yourself as we know you, and that you will love yourself as we love you, and that you will be enjoying your life as we are enjoying your life. Chapter 3, you do create your own reality. Not so very long ago, our friends Jerry and Esther were introduced to this phrase: you are the creator of your own reality. They had discovered the Seth books by Jane Roberts. For them, it was both an exciting prospect and a troubling one. For like so many of our physical friends, they did desire creative control of their own experience, but they were plagued with some basic questions. Is it really all right for us to choose the reality that we create? And if it is appropriate for us to do so, how do we go about doing it? The basis of your life is absolute freedom. You were born with an innate knowledge that you do create your own reality. And in fact, that knowledge is so basic within you that when someone attempts to thwart your own creation, you feel an immediate discord within yourself. You were born knowing that you are the creator of your own reality. And although that desire to do so pulsed within you in a powerful way, when you began to integrate into your society, you began to accept much of the same picture that others held of the way your life should unfold. But still within you today lives the knowledge that you are the creator of your own life experience. That absolute freedom exists as the basis of your true experience. And that ultimately the creation of your life experience is absolutely and only up to you. You have never enjoyed someone else telling you what to do. You have never enjoyed being dissuaded from your own powerful impulses. But over time, with enough pressure from those who surrounded you, who seemed convinced that their practiced way was more valid than your way, and therefore ultimately better, you gradually began to release your determination to guide your own life. That is so true. You often found it easier just to adapt to their ideas of what was best for you rather than trying to figure it out for yourself. But in all this adapting to your society's attempts to make you fit in, and in your own attempt to find less trouble, you have unwittingly relinquished your most basic foundation, your total and absolute freedom to create. You have not given up this freedom easily, however, and in fact, you can never truly release it, for it exists as the most basic tenet of your very being. Still, in your attempt to release it from the sake of getting along, or in your hopeless resignation that you have no other choice than to give up your powerful right to choose, you have gone crossways to your natural current and contrary to your very soul. You guys, how many of us have had that experience where you can look back and you're like, when I was a kid, I used to be such a free spirit. I used to just, go with the flow and be so spontaneous and just getting up and going down the street and playing with my friends was just pure joy. You guys, a lot of us remember that time in our life where we were just like, I just love existing. I just love that I woke up today. You may not have been saying those words, but that's how you felt. You were just like, I just want to go do some basic stuff like ride my bike with my friends. And you could be out on your bike around the neighborhood or wherever having a blast. And it wasn't until we started getting older, start going to schools, entering into the education system, listening to our parents, them trying to tell us what we were supposed to do with our lives, that just like they mentioned here, we forgot what is innately in us, which is to just follow our own source energy. And we start being programmed to look at these teachers and professors and our parents and all these other people to tell us what to do with our life. And as the years go on, we forget. They don't know what's best for us. We know what's best for us. We forget as we get older and older, we start losing this connection that we remembered when we first got here, that we have to this source energy. But because we are around, as kids, around these adults, and they're telling us what to do, and you're going to live your life like this, and this is what's best for you, and you need to go to school, and you need to go to college, you need to be a doctor, you need to go over here, you need to do this. We start relying on these other humans as if they know what's best for us, and they don't. And we start relying more on these other humans and start disconnecting from our source energy. I am here to try to remind you guys to reconnect with your source energy. It has the answers. It can guide you to whatever you want in life. Get quiet and meditate and ask for guidance. No one else can create in your experience. This book is about your realignment with source energy. It is about your reawakening to the clarity, goodness, and power that is really who you are. It is written to assist you in consciously returning to the knowledge that you are free and that you always have been free and that you always will be free to make your own choices. There is no satisfaction in allowing someone else to attempt to create your reality. In fact, it is not possible for anyone else to create your reality. Once you have realigned with eternal forces and universal laws, and with that which is truly the source of that which you are, then joyous creation beyond physical description awaits you. For you are the creator of your own experience, and there is such satisfaction in intentionally guiding your own life. You are eternal beings in physical form. You are eternal beings who have chosen to participate in this specific physical life experience for many wonderful reasons. And this time-space reality on planet Earth serves as a platform in which you are able to focus your perspective for the purpose of specific creation. You are eternal consciousness currently in this wonderful physical body for the thrill and exhilaration of specific focus and creation. The physical being that you define as you stands on the leading edge of thought, while consciousness, which is really your source, pours through you. And in those moments of inexpressible elation, those are the times when you are wide open and truly allowing your source to express through you. Sometimes you are fully allowing the true nature of your being to flow through you, and sometimes you do not allow it to flow. This book is written to help you understand that you have the ability to always allow your true nature to pour through you. And that as you learn to consciously allow your full connection with the you that is your source, your experience will be one of absolute joy. By consciously choosing the direction of your thoughts, you can be in the constant connection with source energy, with God, with joy, and with all that you consider to be good. Can you guys see now while I'm always like, it's so powerful. You guys got to remember when I was reading this book originally, I was going through such a dark time. And can you guys see as I'm reading the book how powerful it makes you feel when you are like, forgive people. Like, forgive whoever did something to you that is so traumatic. Or forgive the event of something that happened to you that was so traumatic. Forgive it. Forgive yourself. Thank it for being a part of your life and bringing you to where you are. But now embrace the power of, I can now create anything I want. I can now be anything I want. So you guys can imagine why I'm always telling you guys, I got to take my time when it comes to Abraham. Because even as I'm reading the pages on this book now, years later, I am still emotionally affected by this book because I can remember how this book changed my life. Because it basically gave me the freedom and the inspiration to say, okay, Tracy, that happened to you. Okay, Tracy, that person did you wrong. Those people did you wrong. Okay. Now let's create something else. This is why I stress to you guys and I get so passionate when I say it's a new you. This is why I don't allow people to come into my life from my past and they want to remind me something about the past or the old Tracy. That's why I told you guys I blocked all these people. I don't talk to any of these people. You start talking about the old Tracy, I literally will look these people in their faces and I'm like, I don't even know who that is. You're talking to somebody totally different. This is where I get it from, you guys, because when I was reading this book, I became so empowered that I was like, wait, I don't have to sit in this. I don't have to keep regurgitating the past. I don't have to keep reliving this. I don't have to keep telling this story of what somebody did to me. It's like the light just came on and I was like, oh, I can create whatever I want. Like I can create. See, I told you, I see. See, I said, I told you I cannot talk about Abraham without getting passionate. It's like the light just went off, you guys, when I was reading this book I forgot how many years ago. And I was reading this book and I was like, if I create my own reality, I can release this trauma that I'm feeling and going through right now, this dark night of the soul, forgive all involved, forgive myself, love everyone, release it, and now I can get busy creating a new me. So you didn't like this about your old self. You know, at the time I was thinking, I don't like this about me right now. I don't like that about me right now. I don't like that this happened to me. That I just released it, you guys. And I literally was like a blank canvas. I'm like, you just can create a new you. You're just going to create a new you. Okay, so you don't want to, you really don't want to be relying and so dependent on drinking alcohol. Okay, so just literally create your new you. The new Tracy does not drink alcohol. Okay, cool. The new Tracy does not use profanity. Okay. I'm not kidding you guys. I literally was like that. I was like, I can just be whatever I want to be. The new Tracy speaks another language. The new Tracy lives here. The new Tracy doesn't even live in this country. The new Tracy has this type of family. I am not kidding you guys. You can literally just start creating a new story. Release the past story, you guys. You have the power to do this. I am living example of this. You are literally watching someone who did just this. I could not see before reading this book. I could not see how I was going to get through that depressed time in my life. I literally was like, I'm just so sad. And then I read this book and I was like, release it, Tracy. Just release it. And stop telling the story of the past. And create the new you. And the new you can be anything that you guys want. Is that not absolutely beautiful? If you're in a position where you're like, I hate my job, I don't like going to this job every day, it is so depressing, the people are micromanaging me, the people are racist, the people, whatever it is, I'm not getting paid enough. You can literally go, what do I want? This is why I tell you, a lot of times people get hung up on this one, you guys, because they just are so used to complaining about a thing that when you ask them, what do you want? You guys got to get real clear on what you want so that you can start visualizing it. So if you're one of these people where you're stuck in a job and you're just like, I've been working here all this time, they haven't given me a promotion, I've been living in this neighborhood, I want to move out of this neighborhood. Start saying what you want. Stop complaining about what is. That's old. It's in the past. Put it in your rearview mirror. And then just start saying, what do I want? I want to live in a different neighborhood. I want to have another job. How about, I don't want a job. I want to have my own business. How about, I want to not be so stressed about bills. So start visualizing yourself a stress-free person. Why are you stressed about bills? Is it maybe because you're living above your means? Is it because maybe, I don't know, something happened with your finances? Just start saying to yourself, what do you want? I want to not be stressed about bills. Then you can then say, then how do I get there? Then maybe you can reevaluate your bills. Maybe there are things that you don't need to be spending money on. Maybe you start making that shift where you're like, I need to start saving more money. I need to pay myself first. I need to start investing more of my money. I need to start paying some things off so that I can get rid of some of this debt. How about this? I need to move out the country where the cost of living is not so freaking expensive. Where I don't have $900 power bills, where I don't have $500 and $400 health insurance premiums to pay every month. You guys got to just start getting creative. But you literally can create a new you. Whatever you don't like about yourself, you guys, how empowering. Whatever you don't like about your current situation, you have the power to change. As I said at the top of the video, if you're like, my husband is this, and that, you have the power to leave that relationship. Yes. Yes. Stop complaining about it. He does this, he does that, I don't like that he does this. And stop talking to your best friend, Betty, about all of the things about your relationship and your man. If you don't like the relationship, create a new reality for yourself. And maybe that new reality, you single and living your best life. Maybe in that new creation of your reality, you don't even have a husband. Say you just dating and you got the pick of the litter. You dating the rainbow. You living your best life. You can literally create whatever you want, you guys. Maybe your situation is where you're just like, I really want to lose weight, but I just don't know how. I just don't know how. Oftentimes I'll see this with people and they're like, I just want to lose weight. I'm trying to manifest losing weight. But then they'll like literally go and sabotage themselves and eat Oreos and Doritos and all this sugar and all this processed food. And I'm like, obviously you don't want to lose weight then. And they want to blame it on everything. Blame it on the government. Blame it on the food system. And I'm like, stop. It's you. I told you guys, I used to have a friend where she would just constantly be putting herself in these just horrible situations, going out on these dates with these strangers that she met on these apps. And then she just constantly wanted to come back to me complaining about these guys and complaining about these dangerous situations that she would wake up in. And I literally had to release her. Because I had just given her all of the goodness that I'm talking to you guys about. I'm like, you're creating this. She didn't like to hear that. She would call me the next morning, Saturday morning, Sunday morning after going out on these crazy, insane dates. Where these men were literally putting her in extremely dangerous situations. I say men, but I really mean she was putting herself. She would just drink. She clearly was an alcoholic. I don't know what she is now, but she clearly was then an alcoholic. And she would drink. I mean, to the point where she would like black out, pass out. She would wake up the next morning not knowing what the hell had happened to her the night before. And then wanted to call me and was like, I believe that this person raped me. I believe that I don't know. I just woke up in this dark space. In the desert. I don't know where I am. I'm like the first couple of times she called me with those stories, of course, I was like, are you safe? Are you back home? How did you make it? I used to just pour all of my energy and emotion. I used to just be, oh my God, because you guys know how empathetic I am. And so I would just immediately put myself in those situations and I would just like, oh my God, that is horrible. He did what? I would get so, you guys, consumed in her life story. And then after about the third or fourth time, you guys, I was like, I would not be a good friend if I did not tell you this. You're causing your own problems. I say you are completely an alcoholic. I said, I'm sorry, I would not be a good friend if I did not tell you this. You've got to stop drinking. I said, you are literally drinking. You guys, because she would drink. Then she would almost be drunk before she went out on the date. She was already there. Then she would go out on a date and drink more and more and more. And then apparently was like blacking out, you guys, and would wake up in the mornings and would know where the hell she was or what happened to her. So then she would call me and she would be like, I believe this guy raped me last night. I believe this guy drugged me. I believe he drugged me last night. And I don't even remember, or I woke up, I didn't have no underwear on. You guys, I'm not kidding. The first few times I was like, my heart was hurting for her. I'm like, these bastards. I told you I was bringing the word bastard back. I used to be like, these bastards are doing this to her. Oh, dear. I was like, these men are horrible. I cannot. I'm laughing because I, too, am surprised at how emotionally I got involved with this girl in these stories. You guys, my heart used to hurt for her. I'm like, you bastards. You're out here drugging her. I used to be mad at these men. I'm like, He raped you. Oh, and I would just be all just mad at the men. And then after about the third time she called me with these stories, I just, and I knew when I had this conversation with her, this was probably going to be our last conversation. And it was. Because I already knew that she was not going to like what I had to say. And she was that type of person where if you didn't agree with her and blame everybody else for her circumstance, then you were not her friend. So I already knew that this was probably going to be our last conversation. And it was. But I was like, I would be remiss. I am not a good human if I do not share with this girl what I know and what I've learned from Abraham. I told her that last time she called me with one of these horrific stories. And I said, you do know that you're creating your reality, right? What? No, he did this to me. No, he did that to me. And I know he put something in my drink. I said, I heard you. I said, but who is the person who keeps putting themselves in this situation? I said, it seems like every weekend now, you are calling me with a different story about a different man who is doing something to you on these dates. I said, the common denominator is you. What? What? I said, you are a raging alcoholic. You drink a bottle of wine before you even go out. You are putting your own self and physical body in these very dangerous situations. And you continue to do it weekend after weekend after weekend. Like you literally cannot get enough. I said, it's not these men's fault. I said, you're doing this to yourself. Like, I'm not even kidding you guys. She would have an incident like this, like horrific incident like this, like waking up somewhere the next morning, not knowing where the hell she was. Waking up like, oh my God, my underwear was pulled down and off. And I don't remember giving this person permission, but clearly it looked like we had sex. Waking up like not having her car, not knowing how to get home, like this, you guys. Horrible situations. But I'm not telling you guys, if she had a situation like that on Friday, she would go out the very next weekend and a very similar situation would happen, but with a different guy. I was like, I cannot consume and take on any more of this trauma. Because it was literally becoming to a point, you guys, where I was absorbing her energy so much. And I was putting myself in the situation so much that I would like literally feel just so like nauseous when I would get off of the phone with her, because I would just be like, that is so freaking horrible. And I was absorbing so much of that energy, you guys, that I was like, I have to choose me first. And I just told her, I said, you need to seek some help. You need to go seek some help. Go talk to a therapist. Go deal with your past trauma. You've got to stop drinking. I said, you are putting yourself in these very dangerous situations. I said, but more importantly, I cannot consume it anymore. Just like I told you guys, I don't even consume sad, depressing movies on Netflix. And they're movies. Why? Because I would take in so much. You guys know when I told you I watched that documentary about Tupac, I was like, oh, and I used to really like Tupac. I wasn't like an extreme fan, but I used to like him. I saw that documentary of his life, you guys, and I was like, I was so exhausted and drained. You guys know I had to literally burn some sage. This was a movie. I had to burn some sage. So you guys know I cannot consume that type of low vibrational stuff. I just absorb too much of the energy that it literally affects me. So I had to tell her, I said, you're your own problem. It's not the guys. It's you. I said, you are drinking too much. You are putting yourself in these very dangerous situations with men you don't even know. And then you want to call me. You clearly don't want my advice because I've given it so many times and you don't take my advice. You go out the very next weekend after taking my advice and you do it all over again. I said, so at this point, you're literally disrupting my soul. Okay? And I choose me first. I cannot consume any more of your trauma and your energy. Okay? What's that name? Victoria. Or is that Victoria? Victoria said, hi. Javier, I think that is. Javier said, I used to date a chick that used to only get raped at parties during the weekend. Wow. And then he said, she's right though. A lot of people out here, you guys, are dealing with some childhood trauma. And they're going out here on these dates and they are living a very dangerous life. A lot of people, you guys, are out here blaming everybody else for their own problems and circumstances instead of saying, I can change this. Like I am creating it as I go. I can literally change everything. That's why I told you guys, when I go out and I'm down in a certain part of the city and I see homeless people, and if I feel the energy in my spirit to give some money, I never give them money without saying. I take that $1, $5, or $10, whatever I'm giving them. Before I put it in their hands, I look them in their eyes and I go, you do know that you can change the circumstance anytime you want. And I literally say to them, you are creating your reality. And I give them the $20. Hey, they could take the $20 and go get them some meth, some pills, I don't know. But I never let people go without saying or trying to remind them, you're creating it. You're down here homeless. You created this situation. You can create a whole new reality where you're not homeless. You can create a whole new reality where you're living your best life. And if your best life just so happens to be you living in a tent out there on the streets, that's why I always tell you guys, I don't feel sorry for homeless people anymore. I used to. But now I'm like, because of Abraham, I'm like, everybody is just creating their own life. So I don't have to feel sorry for anybody. I'm like, they probably live in that's where they want to be right now in their life. Don't feel sorry for them. I have driven by, you guys, a lot of homeless areas. Them people be kicking it. And I'm not even exaggerating. There's this area that we go to give away food. As a matter of fact, we'll be doing that this month. There's this area that we go to, you guys, to give away food to the homeless. I have some video footage of it. We went and gave them some food, you guys. It looked like a party. Nobody was all like this on the streets. We went there, you guys. It was us and 2 other groups of people at the time that we went who were giving out food. One lady she was so fabulous with hers. I told Boo Thing, I said, I want to get to that point. One lady who was giving out food and drinks, she had taken her pickup truck, and then, so imagine she pulled up on this lot. She set up one of those tents. You guys know those tents where it's just like kind of 4 just tall poles like this, and then it just has like the little square covering over the top. She set this. So imagine this is her pickup truck, and this is the bed, and the bed stops here. So she can turn her whole bed of the back of her pickup into basically like a store shelf. She had like about 2 layers of bottled water. She had noodles in a cup. She had snacks.
She just turned her whole bed into like literally like shelves in a store. Then at the end of the bed where the bed of her pickup truck stopped, she put one of these tents at the end of it like this, and had a tent like this, and then put a table, just like a little folding table. And baby had, because it was cold outside, because it was around this time last year, and she put up a one of those it's not just called a canister. You guys know what I'm talking about, where it's like hot water. She put up one of these big containers where you just like take the spout like this, so they could go up like this with their cup, take the spout with the hot water, and so they could take their cup of noodles, go over to the spout, baby, get them some hot water. She had spoons out there, bottled waters on this table. I am not kidding you guys. When we drove through the homeless area, and it was a ton of people lined all up and down. It's like an intersection. I'm not kidding you guys. It looked like a family reunion. It was this lady giving out all kind of stuff. It was a whole other group. They were over there parked. They didn't have the tent situation, but they were just sitting there on the end of their pickup truck, just giving stuff away. And then here we come in our pickup truck loaded with food and drink, and we're giving stuff away, just driving down the streets, giving. It looked like a family reunion, you guys. I am not freaking kidding. Somebody had a boom box out. I'm not exaggerating, you guys. As a matter of fact, I remember when I had jumped out of the truck and I was giving away some snacks and the song came on. I remember I had looked at Boo Thing and I was like, that's my jam. They had literally taken over the streets, you guys. They were in the streets. They were on the sidewalks. They had tents all set up. These people were living a happier life than I've seen a lot of people who live in big houses. I told you guys over here where I live, I just be looking into the cars. And the people just driving, just looking stressed and mad and mean and just. And I told you guys when I first moved over here, I was like, how are you guys looking that mean and stressed out? Why do you guys look that angry? We live in this beautiful area with all of this beautiful landscaping and with these beautiful houses. And these people driving down the street over here looking more mad, upset, angry, and stressed out. And these people down here homeless were living their best lives. I don't feel sorry for homeless people because of this right here. You're creating your own reality. Those people were not sad, you guys. I am not kidding. It was bunches of them over here, bunches of them over there. They were sitting and talking and chilling. And let me say this. This was the part that shocked me too. How good of a time these people were having. But the other thing that shocked me, you guys, is how grateful they were. Everybody I was passing out bottled waters to, they were just like, everybody, you guys. It was a rare case if somebody just was like, they just took the bottle and walked off. No, they were like, thank you, thank you, thank you. Now, some of them, like if I had this box, because you guys know we got all these snacks and things from Costco. And so I had kind of came up with this little system because I was really enjoying the way that lady had her system set up. Because I'm not kidding. I was like, I want to get to that point. And Boo Thing was looking like, really? I was like, she got her system down. So I kind of like took a page from her book. And if I had a box like this from Costco, but it had all of the same snacks in it, I mixed and matched them. So some people were, as I was walking down the street with this box like this with all these different snacks in it, everybody was so grateful and saying thank you. But it would be some people like, say I went and grabbed this to give to them. Some people would be like, no, I kind of want that. I was like, okay, no problem. Get what you want. Take what you want. Here was another thing that was very surprising to me. As I was walking around with this box like this, where it was all kind of exposed, where they could go and grab whatever snacks they want. You guys, they were not like, you would think that they're homeless, so they're just going to like be all like, oh my God, let me just take it all or try to grab 5 and 6 snacks. No. You guys, it was almost like they had a system. And because it was so many of them like standing around me and things like that, I got the impression, nobody said this, but they got their own little system going on down there. I got the impression that if somebody would have walked up to me and tried to take like 5 or 6 bags of snacks at one time, that the people around them would have jumped them. I'm not kidding. Everybody who came up to me, you guys, was just like this. And they were just taking like one snack. They would take one snack and then they would go and take a bottle of water. They would take one, we kind of got a whole little system too, because Kevin and Edward were riding on the outside of the truck. Me and Boothing was inside the truck, and Kevin and Edward were riding, like kind of sitting on the sides of the pickup truck in the back. And so Boothing was just kind of like driving slowly a little bit, then stop, and then drive slowly. And so they would jump out and stuff. You guys, they had Kevin and Edward. They were just like, well, I'm not kidding. I just love them so much. When we got through, they were literally like, when are we coming back? Like, when are we coming back? When are we going to come back and do this again? You guys, these people were so grateful. They were so happy to see us. We turned that corner and they knew what we were there for. You guys, they were like, shh. And they were just so polite. They were all just kind of like waiting in line. They just immediately, like I said, I don't know if it's an unwritten rule. They just immediately start forming a line. And they were just like, wait till they get up there. Pick a snack, go over to Kevin, get a bottle of water, and gone about their business. I was like, oh my freaking God. I don't feel sorry for homeless people anymore. You create your reality. Just like I used to feel sorry for that friend who was going through all that nonsense on these dates with these guys. I don't feel sorry for her anymore. I'm like, she's living her life. I literally told her, you must enjoy this. You must enjoy going out with these different men, knowing what just happened to you last weekend, that you say you believe you got raped. You must enjoy that lifestyle, because why would she be doing it over and over and over again, you guys? But do you guys not see how oftentimes people are just like, oh my God, they want to feel sorry for that person? Don't feel sorry for them, you guys. Know that they are creating their reality, like Abraham says. We all have our own path. We all are choosing what lifestyle we want to live. And guess what? This is most important. There's no right or wrong way. So although I was looking at my friend like, I don't want that for myself. I don't want to. You guys, hear me and let's make this clear. I'm not judging this woman at all. I just don't want that lifestyle for myself. I don't want to drink a bottle of wine, roll the dice on who I go out with, and take the chance on you probably have drunk so much that you're probably going to pass out or black out, and then wake up like, I don't know if I was. You can't barely say the word rape nowadays. Humans have gotten so ridiculous. I just personally don't want that lifestyle where I wake up in the morning and I'm like, I don't know. I don't know if I was raped last night. You guys are like, Tracy, that's harsh. That was her reality though, you guys. And she kept putting herself in that situation weekend after weekend after weekend. So I have no choice but to believe she must enjoy that. You know what I kind of compared her lifestyle to? And this is what kind of helped me get my mind around. There's no need to feel sorry for her. I started comparing it to, you guys know how, there's a title for these people called daredevils. We don't feel sorry for daredevils. People who just literally seek very adventurous, risky activity. People who love to jump out of planes. People who love to go climbing mountains without any secure nets or anything like that. They just love the adventure of it. There's some people who love drag car racing. People who love So many. People love fighting the alligators. We don't feel sorry for them. You just assume they love the risk. Some people, like Abraham said, chose to come and have that life experience. So I just kind of got my mind around it. I was like, she chooses to have this life experience, Tracy. Let her live her life. You guys need to stop doing that. Stop judging people. Stop judging people for how they live their life. It's their life. If they want to be doped up on pain pills or strung out on crack or mad, so what? So what? It's their life. If they want to be out here with the cheek sunk in and missing teeth, if they want to be out here homeless, I just literally go, this is what they chose. You guys, do you not see how beautiful that is? When you can stop worrying about somebody else, when you can stop judging somebody else, when you can just look at everybody, whether it's something you would like to engage in or not, you can just look at everybody like you look at a daredevil. You're like, they're a risk taker. Just like some people like me. When they know maybe what country that I want to move to, they may be like, girl, what? That is dangerous, Tracy. That is dangerous. What are you? I would never. It's not for them, but it's my choice. It's what I want. It's what I like. You guys have to release people. Just look at humans out here and just be like, they're creating their reality. I told you guys, this is what I told my son. I'm like, when you graduate high school, I'm like, I'm not about to tell you what to do. You gotta go to college. You have to go to university. You have to go live on a campus. You have to get this type of job. I'm like, no, son, you need to find you. Know what you want to do. Know what you have a desire to do. I'm not here even as your mom. I'm not here to tell you what to do with your life. You made an agreement before you even came into this physical body to just enjoy life. I remember, you guys, even with my aunt, right before my aunt transitioned, she was already just kind of like making her way to that point. Like she started off with just like a limp. And then the limp went to her, years ago, went from a limp to her then started using a cane. And everybody was going, you might want to look into that. Don't you want to go to a doctor? You might want to go get a CAT scan. You might want to go to an MRI. There probably may be some medicine for that. Maybe you want to do some physical therapy. She didn't want to. And so it went from, and so therefore she never did. Never knew what was wrong with her. And she went from walking with a cane to walking with a walker. Everybody was like, Brenda, don't you want to look into that? Da, 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 da. Nope, she wanted to live her life. Brenda was living her life. She went from walking on the cane, on the walker, to being in a wheelchair. Half on a walker, half in a wheelchair. Then she eventually progressed to just always in a wheelchair. Never, you guys, wanting and never went to the doctor to see if there was something that she could have gotten a cure for it. Was it some kind of medicine she could have taken? Was there some kind of surgery? She didn't want that. And I remember some people were just like getting so mad at her. Why don't she do this? She need to go to, and I was just like, let her live her life. She obviously enjoys the experience of always being in a wheelchair because then she literally became wheelchair bound. She no longer walked at all. And then she literally went straight from wheelchair bound, and she was in that state for years. And again, people were like, why don't you go to the doctor and see if there's something that can be done about your legs? She didn't want to. And then she went from being in a wheelchair all the time to then going into bed. She never came out the bed. And then she was bedridden. And then, sure enough, being in the bed all the time, not moving, got bed sores. And she just progressed and progressed and progressed. And then she just transitioned up out of here. And I remember some people right before she passed were just so upset with her, or just angry, and why didn't she ever go? She did that to herself. Well, I'm like, it was her life experience. That's not your place to judge somebody for their life experience. Leave these people alone. And that's what I had to do with my friend. I'm like, Tracy, this is her life. So what if you wouldn't live your life like that? So what? It's not your life. It's hers. And so let her go out every weekend. Let her have it. Like I told you guys last time we were reading Abraham. Abraham said, allow people to be who they are. Allow a person who wants to live in poverty to have poverty and have it. Allow a person who wants to live in scarcity to live in scarcity and have it. So all I was thinking about with my friend is allow a Tracy, allow a person who wants to get drugged and raped every weekend to get drugged and raped every weekend. Leave her alone. Oh my God. Javier. Javier said that same friend later got pregnant by her dad's best friend. And he said, I just laughed, LOL. Javier said, that's one thing I learned. Let them be them. Yes. Jenny said, girl, you are crazy. Janice, I may be crazy, but you know I'm right. You can't change people, you guys. Leave them alone. I'm serious about that one. Leave these people alone. Stop judging them. People only change when they want to change, you guys. I told you guys about this even with my own life experience. Back when I was drinking my wine and had to have my wine every day, if you would have come to me at that time in my life and said, Tracy, no, you shouldn't have wine today, I would have looked at you like, who are you to tell me? I done worked a long day. I done had a hard day. Oh, I'm going to have my wine. You couldn't have told me anything. And that's what I had to remember about this friend. I was like, Tracy, you cannot tell her. She has to be ready to change. She obviously is not ready to change right now. Let her be. Jenny said, yep. I was like, let that girl be. On and tarot cards. What is that name? Sorry, you guys. This light is really bright in my face. As Menot said, my thoughts on folks who base their entire existence on the month they were born and tarot cards. Now, I will say this, Ash Monet. I'm sure I'm butchering your name. Sorry. I will say this. I appreciate people who put more time and effort into the time and month they were born and zodiac signs and astrology than I do religion. I will say that. Religion is an absolute scam. Don't get mad at me. It's the truth. It's a scam. It's a lie. It is born and was created out of control. It's to control you guys. Don't get mad at me. I'm a very spiritual person, but I am not a religious person at all. So if you're going to choose your time to want to figure out more about your identity or who you are, I'm not necessarily into tarot card readings or anything like that. All I'm just simply saying is, if you had a choice between the two of how you want to spend your time and energy and effort, between religion and astrology, I personally would say spend it on astrology. Also, I would say that because I really do believe in it matters the time. It says a lot. How about that? It's not just completely defining your character and identity when you were born and your astrological sign. But I will say this. I have always believed that you can tell a lot about a person from when they were born. I remember when I met Buthing, I didn't know anything about him. I had just had a few conversations with him. And I literally looked at him and I said, I bet I can guess when you were born. To me, because I just think it's more like an energy. And in my life experience, I have found that people born around a certain time or month have very similar qualities and traits and characteristic traits about them. I have found that to be true. And when I first met Buthing, after about 3 conversations, we never talked about birthday. We never talked about when you were born, how old you are, none of that, you guys. And I literally was like, I said to him, I said, I bet I can tell you when you were born. And he's like, what? I said, I won't be able to tell you exactly the day. I said, but I can tell you within a range, because I was thinking about this zodiac sign. And I knew it. I knew it in my soul. I was like, he's a Libra. Every Libra that I have ever dated, they're not exactly the same, but some qualities about them just like exude out of them. It's so prominent in them. The same way I feel about my sign, Aries. And I've gotten so good at it when it comes to Aries that I can literally almost tell you, after knowing you and having a few conversations with you, I can tell you whether you were born at the beginning of the Aries zodiac sign or toward the end. Because there can be quite a bit of a difference between people who are born toward the beginning of the zodiac sign. Like for an Aries, our zodiac sign starts on March 21st. And then it should end then on April 20th. What I have found is people who are born toward the beginning of that zodiac sign, the end of March and the beginning of April, and especially in a woman, we are totally different than the Aries who are born at the end of the zodiac sign, meaning toward April 20th, April 19th, and 18th. I have seen this time and time again. With an Aries, I am almost always able to identify Aries, woman or man. I've seen people even on their YouTube channels. Never met them in person, but I've watched enough of their YouTube videos, and I'm like, oh, that's an Aries. He's an Aries. There's some things and traits about what I have found. There are some things about a zodiac sign for me that have been very, very similar. For instance, and the reason why I was able to identify Buthing being a Libra, what I have found in my life experience, people born in that zodiac sign, a Libra, extremely chill people. Like that chill dude, that dude who's just like, just go with the flow. That dude who's just like, he ain't not about that drama. He is not about that chaos or confusion. He is not about to play that game with you as his woman. He's not about to enter into these arguing and yelling and screaming and no. Every Libra man that I have met have been these extremely like chill type dudes, extremely confident dudes. It like the confidence just oozes out of their pores. It's like I'm doing me. Like I'm doing me. Either you like it or not. And if you don't, that's cool too. extremely chill guys, extremely confident guys, extremely just go with the flow, not about that drama. Every Libra I have ever dated, a man, has been like that. I was able to tell as soon as I talked to this man, I was like, you're a Libra. And then when I was like, and you were born in October. He was like, how do you know that? Did you see my license or something? I was like, no. I know energy and I know these zodiac. I don't know all zodiac signs. But some zodiac signs that I have had enough experience with, I have found the similar traits in those people, so much so that I can see them and have about 3 conversations with you. And I'm like, you are an Aries. I know an Aries backwards and forwards because that's just me. Aries tend to have oh my God. Aries are extreme. And I'm saying this about myself, you guys. I'm an Aries. They are the epitome of alpha. Whether it's a man or a woman, they are alpha, alpha, alpha. You talk about confidence. Their confidence is through the roof. We tend to be extremely stubborn people. Oftentimes can be arrogant. That's not really me anymore. It used to be though. Very arrogant people, extremely stubborn people. But the one trait that I tend to love the most is that we are very feisty, lively people. Like when people say we are like a ball of energy, like a ball of energy. I have not met an Aries yet. And if you exist out there, I'm sure there's somebody out there because this is not across the board. But I personally have not met an Aries yet, man or woman, who is not the life of the party. They have so much energy. They are just like so expressive, so feisty that we are very determined people. Like I told you guys, we tend to be very stubborn. You're not gonna get a lot of stuff past us. We're like, no. No. Feisty, full of energy, life of the party, fire. It's a fire sign. Every Aries I have met men before, not that I was dating them, just men that was just like friends. And I'm like, you're an Aries. I can tell an Aries man out the gate. These are extremely confident people. They have a lot of high energy. They don't take no nonsense. You're not going to put that nonsense on them. They will call you out on your bull. And they tend to be just really like fiery, feisty type of people. I have not personally, you guys, met an Aries yet who is just like this dud. You guys know some of those people, right? You just be like, are you awake? Are you awake? Sir, are you there? Knock, knock. Are you there? Are you here? Are you alive? Are you breathing? Are you awake? You guys know some of these people. I have never met an Aries like that, where they're just like a dud, just that low energy person. I haven't. I'm sure they probably exist, you guys. I have not met an Aries like that in my life. They tend to be very fiery, feisty people. Astronaut said, what are noticeable Taurus traits? They're so confusing. Ooh. I dated one Taurus in my entire life. Yeah. Confusing, and the Taurus that I had an interaction with, and I dated them for like a year and a half. Oh God, they were such a liar. And I cannot stand liars. I told you guys, Aries, we are to the point, okay? Oftentimes to our own detriment. Like we just spit it and we just shoot it straight. We don't care what the end result is. We're just like, oftentimes you'll find Aries just say it. We usually are guilty of not thinking before we speak. That's not really my thing, but I do speak very bluntly. And sometimes people have said it can come across as abrasive. So for me and a Taurus, we just did not get along because I could not understand why this person talked in riddles And boy, that's why when you said confusing, I'm like, yeah, that kind of was my experience too. Just that Taurus always talked in riddles. And if they weren't talking in riddles, they just lied. Just flat out would be a liar. I'm not saying that across the board about all Taurus, you guys. I only had one experience with a Taurus, but as a result, I never wanted to date a Taurus again. Cece said, in the Indian astrology, it's a month before, usually from the 15th to the 15th to the 15th of the month. Cece said it's called, ooh, I want to know what that says. Is that Vedic astrology? So assessing to Vedic, is it Vedic astrology, you could potentially be a Pisces. There's also the sun and the moon, Venus signs, etc. Are you closer to the beginning of the month? Me? Yes, I am. Cece said Pisces, Mina, March 13th through April 12th. Look at Cece telling us about the astrology. Yes, Cece, I'm April 7th. And when you guys look up anything about an Aries, they might as well have a picture of me. They say, look, let's just do it right now. Everything I have ever read about on astrology about an Aries, I'm always like, yes, yes, that's me, that's me, that's me. Let's see, Aries. Aries or something else, you guys. And any ladies out there, men, don't get mad at me. Any ladies out there, I'm telling you right now, I would never date an Aries man. They too much like me. I like yin and yang. This is why I've always gotten along with Libras. Libras are chill. Libras usually are just like, Tracy, do your thing. Girl, go just do your thing. Libras usually, and I think Libras come up as like the #1 zodiac sign that that are compatible with an Aries. In one reading, I saw that another zodiac sign that is supposed to be compatible with an Aries is a Leo. I dated one Leo. If there's any Leos out there, I am not kidding. I'm just telling you guys about my own experience. Is this what they say about Leos? I don't know. But as a result, I don't date these men anymore. The one experience I had with a Leo. Whore. A complete whore. He couldn't even help himself. And he was nice looking, so he could not help himself. He could not help himself. Let's see. Aries. Zodiac. This is a new one. I've never read this one. This is kind of giving your daily astrology read. I just want a general reading. Oh, look at that. Tarot card readings came up. I want just a general description of an Aries so I can tell you guys. When I read this, you guys are going to be like, yeah, that's Tracy. Let's see. Aries. Aries. Okay. I want a description. Maybe I should type in here traits, because this is giving me the history on the Aries, and I want to get traits. Let's see, Aries. We are the first of the zodiac sign. We are leaders. Oh, I didn't mention that. Aries are born leaders. which is why it makes sense to you now when I say to you guys, when people say you should let a man be your leader, this is why it's so repulsive to me, because it's in my DNA. I am the leader. We can lead together, but I don't need somebody to lead me. Aries traits. How about this? How about this, you guys? Aries traits. This is gonna be fun. Aries. Okay, Pooh, 1 second. Okay, here we go, you guys. Listen to this. Okay, I'm gonna read the quick synopsis and then the other details. It says, what personality is an Aries? They are unafraid of conflict, highly competitive, and honest. They throw themselves at the world eagerly and without fear. Aries are driven by a desire to prove themselves and their strength. They have high energy and are competitive and ambitious. Tracy, 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 and Tracy. Look, here's some other things they have to say about us. Okay. Aries, the very first thing they have on this particular one is confident. Didn't I tell you guys? It's in our DNA. Confident, passionate, you guys know. I can barely contain myself even on these lives. Passionate, brave, honest. I told you guys to a fault. Honest, selfishness. So we're not selfish. I told you guys, very generous people. This one says attention seeking. Oh, that's funny. This one says being too competitive can bring them harm. Oh, this one is so true. Lack of patience. I've gotten a lot better at this one, you guys, but that used to be me. I was totally that person. I would literally, I have gotten so much better, especially since my spiritual awakening. But I was that person where you could just be in mid-sentence. I used to date somebody who they would talk so slow. Say they wanted to say, I went down the street and I met up with Bob and we went and had drinks at the local bar and we had a great time on Saturday night. Say they wanted to say that. This is how they would say it. Yeah. I met up with Bob and we decided to, go to the bar. What? I literally said to this person, talk about lack of patience. I was like, why are you talking so slow? Get to the point. Get to it. That same person continued to talk slow because that's just how they talk. Just extremely slow. Another time, talk about lack of patience. Another time I literally said to him, I said, you are making my head hurt. Like, I'm not kidding. I looked them right in their face. I said, you're making my head hurt, because he was taking so long to talk, you guys, that in between all these pauses and breaks that he would take, my mind, because my mind would just go to something else. And so literally by the time that he would finish the story, I didn't forgot the whole story. I literally told him, I said, I can't listen to you. What? Who does that, you guys? That's what I did, though. Talk about honesty. It can be literally to our detriment. And we are extremely impatient. I was like, I can't listen to your stories because I have literally forgotten the beginning of the story by the time you get to the end of the story because you're talking so slow. What? Get to it. But I have gotten a lot better, you guys. It took some work. It's still there. Don't get me wrong. It's still there. I mean, even to this day, sometimes I'm like, but I'll like kind of talk to myself and like check myself, like, Tracy, put on your patient's head, ma'am. But I think also it's not because I'm trying to be rude. It's that I'm asking you to speed it up a little bit because I'm trying to give you the heads up that if you don't, I'm going to check out. I'm going to check out and just start thinking about my grocery list or something. I'm not going to be able to stay with you there in the conversation because it's just the pauses are too long. So lack of patience, yes, we can be some very impatient people. But I tell you, leadership, we are leaders, you guys. We are natural born leaders. Any man out there, if you're looking for that submissive woman who wants you to lead her, don't date an Aries woman. T-Bird is telling you. I don't care what she says. She's like, yeah, I want you to lead me. Yeah, I want to be submissive. She's lying. It is in our DNA to be leaders, and we are very confident people. She's not going to let you lead her for too long. Don't date an Aries woman, man. If you want to be her leader, don't date an Aries woman. We tend to be optimistic and positive. Absolutely. Impatient, they already said that. This one says impulsive. I can see that. Energetic, extremely. Independent, extremely. Bold, extremely. I'll look you right in your face. When we first moved to this neighborhood, my neighbor, she's still there. A neighbor kind of, not right across from me, but kind of across the street, but a little bit further down. One day I was walking the dogs, and she felt the need to come out. And she was like, hi. I think she came out because she's a fur baby lover. And so as soon as she saw Roxy prancing in that freaking harness, I told you guys, Roxy's always prancing. And so I was walking Roxy, and when I came up the street, she came out of the driveway or whatever, and she was like, I'm going to have to feed Jack in a minute because he won't stop barking. She came out, her old, I just got to give you guys a description. This old white lady. She looked like maybe she's in her 70s. And she came out of the house, and she saw Roxy and I walking up the street, and she was like, oh my God, I love, what's her name? What's her name? And I was like, Roxy. And she's like, what? And she was like, oh my God. She was like, I love her. She's so cute. She's so cute. You know, Roxy was just kind of looking like, okay. And so she was like, she's so cute. She said, oh, we love the fur babies around here. We love the fur babies. And then she was like, she wants to start telling me about the neighborhood because I had recently moved in. And so she was like, you just moved in, right? And I was like, yeah. And I was like, I'm right across from you, but a little bit up the street. And so she was like, yeah. And she just being herself, you guys. She just started talking. And she was like, yeah. She's like, we love the fur babies around here. Not so much the humans, but we love the fur babies. And then she looked at me and she was like, yeah, I'm one of the original owners. She's like, so I've been here for 20 years. I'm the original owner. She's like, it's not many of us left around here. She's saying this to me. She said, it's not many of us left around here. She said, and boy, has the neighborhood changed. I know exactly what she meant. Like that there's a variety of cultures and races here now. But she said, boy, has the neighborhood changed. And so I told you guys, because I don't see myself as any particular race, I told you guys I'm everything and nothing. Because I see myself as source energy. I don't identify with any race, religion, politics, anything. So when she said it, I wasn't offended or anything, but I knew what she meant. But I just looked at her, I literally like came in close to her like this, as if as if I was like a fellow old white lady with her. I literally came in close to her like this, you guys, when she said, boy, has the neighborhood changed. I came in close to her like this, you guys, and I said, how so? I said, how so? You guys, she looked at me, she was like, and it was almost like she didn't see me as a black woman, like she didn't know who she was talking to, or Maybe she didn't care who she was talking to. But the minute I said, like it was a secret between us, I was like, how so? How has the neighborhood changed? She was like, it's just a lot of comings and goings. It's just a lot of comings and goings. You know, a lot of renters and just, it's just a lot of comings and goings. And I was like, oh, I said, I don't mind that. I said, no problem. I said, it seems like to me it's still very nice neighborhood. I was like, it's still a gated community. I was like, everybody I see, I said, I've been walking my dog now. At that time, I had been walking Roxy about 3 or 4 weeks. I said, I've been walking my dog now every day for the past few weeks. I said, and the neighbors are fabulous. I said, they are so ready to come out and meet me and introduce themselves to me. I said, the neighbors are fabulous. And she looked like, she must have went inside the house, you guys, and must have been talking to her husband about her putting her foot in her mouth. I didn't say that. I'm just assuming that that's what she must have felt about herself, and that her husband must have said something to her, because 2 days later, I see her up at the supermarket up the street that a lot of people from the neighborhood go to. And I'm just minding my business, like pushing my cart. I didn't really even recognize her. And I came down the aisle, just minding my business, shopping. And she came I just saw this human kind of approaching me really fast. And when she came up on me, I kind of was like startled a little bit, like, who is walking up on me so fast? And so when I looked up from my cart and I saw her, I recognized her face, kind of, but not really. It was like, she looks familiar, but where do I know this lady from? And she was sitting there, and then this white older man was a little, like, one step behind her, like right here. And she immediately felt the need, you guys. She was like, the other day when I was talking to you, when you were walking, she knew exactly who I was. I didn't really know who she was until she said this. She said, remember the other day when I was walking in the neighborhood? And I was like, yeah. And she said, you have the dog. You have the cute little dog, right? I said, Roxy, yes. And she said, you don't pay me no mind. Her husband was standing right like behind her looking like, clean it up, ma'am. Clean it up. He was looking like, get it together to his wife. She was like turning red and everything, you guys. She was like, remember when I was talking to you the other day in the neighborhood? I was like, yes, yeah. She was like, and remember when I was saying that the neighborhood had changed so much? The neighborhood has changed so much. I said, I do remember you saying that. I said, and remember I asked you how so? She said, what I meant by that was, and you guys, you know, when people are like talking, they start talking really fast because they're nervous. She was like, no, what? She wanted to explain herself. I was just sitting there, just like looking her in her eyes. I was like, yeah, I remember. Her husband was standing right there next to her, like, clean it up. And she was like, what I meant when I said that, I didn't mean anything by it. I didn't mean anything by it. And I was like, what did you mean? I said, what did you mean? I said, what did you mean? And she said, when I said that the neighborhood changed so much, I meant we have just been having so many coyotes. It's been... She said, we have been having so many coyotes that it's become unbearable, because we're up here in the mountains and these coyotes are coming down off of these mountains. And she was like, and so, you got to be careful when you're walking Roxy, okay? You got to be careful because these coyotes, it's so many coyotes. She goes, that's what I meant. That's what I meant. She goes, I didn't mean any harm by that. She goes, I was just trying to, she goes, I just remembered. I wanted to tell her that it's so many coyotes. That's what I meant when I said the neighborhood has changed. And so I was like, oh, okay. I said, okay. I said, no, I said, thank you. I said, thank you for giving me the heads up. And she was like, yeah, that's all I meant. Her husband looked at me, you guys. He had this look on his face like, please forgive my wife. Please forgive her. I just looked, I said, no, I said, it's no problem. I said, thank you for giving me the heads up. Thank you for giving me the heads up. I said, and I will be careful. And I will have my eyes open and aware and looking out for coyotes when I walk Roxy. And she was like, yes, yes. And I just walked away, you guys. I literally felt like, let me put this lady out of her misery. She was so red. And she was looking like her husband was going to knock her right upside her head if she did not clear that up. Aries are very, very bold. I looked that lady right in her face and I was like, how has the neighborhood changed? It literally took her back. She was like, that's why I'm always telling you guys, just ask people questions. When people just assume a thing about you, or you think that maybe they are treating you away because maybe they're racist or something like that, or prejudiced, just ask them a question. Why did you assume that? Why did you assume that about me? That's not my situation. I told you guys, sometimes people, I'll just do it for the fun of it because I love to entertain myself. When people just assume they're just looking at a black woman, and so they just assume I know a thing, I'll just look at them. I'm like, I'm not familiar. Who is Drake? I'm not familiar. Why would you just assume that I know that? Don't do that. Bold, courageous, very. We are extremely, I have not met an Aries yet who is not extremely courageous. Determined. Some of the most successful business owners that I know. Aries. Very determined people. And I know a lot of this, you guys, is like this is our masculine energy side of us. But we are very courageous and we are very determined. And by determined, I think what they want to say is we are stubborn as hell. Again, I've gotten a lot better at that. In the past, I used to always be like, no, I know what's best. But now I've gotten a lot better where I literally, not just for the sake of it, but I literally am like I told you guys, one of my favorite phrases now is, what do you think? ¿Qué piensas? I used to be this way. They are very short-tempered. Gotten a lot better at that. Aggressive. This what the thing says. Didn't I tell you guys when I read off the zodiac sign for an Aries, you might as well just say that they should have a picture of me. Just, geez. Aggressive. I'm not as aggressive anymore either. And even when I was and considered myself to be very aggressive, it was more assertive. Not aggressive. It was more assertive. I'm never and have never been that just want to be confrontational, start an argument, start a debate. I actually was a very shy kid. Kind of shy teenager too. I probably didn't start coming into my own and start kind of being more vocal until junior year in high school. And even then, I was never one to just want to start a fight. I don't want no parts of no drama. Soon as I hear or know of a dramatic situation going on, or it's going to be some drama, chaos, and confusion, you guys go that way, I'm going this way. I do not like being involved in drama, chaos, and confusion. Okay? My short-tempered nature will tell you right to your face, don't bring that over here. I don't do that. So I'm not aggressive in that way, but I would say more assertive. We Aries tend to be very assertive people. We tend to be very just say it how it is. And this can be very offensive to a lot of people. This is why I say we don't gel well with everybody. Because a lot of people don't like that bluntness, that abrasiveness, that just say it how it is. I don't have time to mince words with you. A lot of people don't do well with that, you guys. And then the last one says, Aries have a very unpredictable and spontaneous nature. I told you guys what the lady said last week. She was like, oh, you have never been the type to let grass grow up under your feet. You keep it moving. You keep it pushing, and you are on to the next. Okay, you guys, let's finish up this chapter, and then I'm going to let you guys go and feed my fur babies. Oh, this is gonna be a good ending. This is the ending of chapter 3, you guys. Look how we're gonna end this. This is beautiful. End of chapter 3 says, absolute well-being is the basis of your universe. Well-being is the basis of this universe. Well-being is the basis of all that is. It flows to you and through you. You have only to allow it. Like the air you breathe, you have only to open, relax, and draw it into your being. This book is about consciously allowing your natural connection to the stream of well being. It is about remembering who you really are so that you can get on with the creation of your life experience in the way you intended before you came forth into this physical body and into this magnificent leading edge experience where you fully intended to express your freedom in endless, joyous, co-creative ways. She talks a lot about co-creators. Co-creators are just other humans, you guys, helping you create that thing that you want. Can you understand how much well-being is flowing to you? Do you understand how much orchestration of circumstances and events on your behalf is available to you? Do you understand how adored you are? Do you understand how the creation of this planet, the creation of this universe, fits together for the perfection of your experience? Do you understand how beloved you are, how blessed you are, how adored you are, and what an integral part of this creative process you are? We want you to. We want you to begin to understand the blessed nature of your being. And we want you to begin to look for the evidence of it because we are showing it to you in every moment that you will allow yourselves to see it. In the lining up of lovers, money, fulfilling experiences, and beautiful things for you to see. In the lining up of circumstances and events, and in the lining up of amazing co-creative experiences where you are rendezvousing with one another for no other reason than for the fantastically important reason of fulfilling, satisfying, and pleasing yourself and giving yourself joy in the moment. Your motion forward is inevitable. It must be. You cannot help but move forward. But you are not here on a quest to move forward. You are here to experience outrageous joy. That is why you are here. Can you guys see how when I was reading this book and I was going through my dark night of the soul, how beautiful it was to hear that? How beautiful it was to be reminded of that? You are love. You came here to experience love. You came here to experience, like she said, outrageous joy. Not just, I'm okay, yeah, I'm happy. No, you came here to like experience outrageous joy. Like to be more kid, like I'm trying to explain to you guys. Remember the little and small things that you could do when you were a young kid that were so freaking fun. And it didn't take much. Just the other day that wasn't the other day, that was last night. Just last night when Boo Thing went and I finished dinner, you guys, I'm telling you guys, I literally behaved just like this book says. I'm literally like, I can create whatever I want. And so Boo Thing and I were out at this Salvadorian / Mexican restaurant. I love these places, you guys. It is so many of these places. And Las Vegas. Oh my God. I mean, that authentic Salvadorian Mexican food. And as we were sitting there, I don't know why, I just was like, well, I just feel like a kid. Like like I was just sitting there talking to him. We were just talking about like just whatever, just like fun stuff. And just being in this restaurant, it just reminded me, I don't know why, it just reminded me of being a teenager. And so as we were sitting there, I was thinking to myself, why do I want to like make out with this man in the car? So I created it. He's like, you ready? You ready to leave? You had enough to eat or whatever? I was like, yeah. He paid the bill. We were walking out. I was like, I'm about to create this whole scene. I had already visualized it right there at the table. I was like, I'm about to literally make out with this man in the car like I am a teenager. He paid the bill. We were walking out. I was like, just like, I'm still talking. Yeah, still talking. We got in that parking lot, you guys, and it was like literally like the universe was like, oh, you want this experience? Let me really give it to you like a real teenage experience. Remember, you guys, oftentimes you would like go to a parking lot or, oh my God, do you guys remember when we would go and just sit in the cars and watch the airplanes land, come and go? I literally told Boo Thing, I was like, I want to do that. Oh my God, I want to do that. I literally haven't done that since I was a teenager. And so when I said that at the dinner table last night, I didn't say it out loud to him. I just was thinking to myself, I want to create this experience of like feeling like a teenager making out with this man in the car. Well, when we first got there, it wasn't a lot of people there. So the parking lot was kind of empty. When we came out after I was like, I'm about to go in this car and like seriously make out with this man, like a teenager. As we walked out the door of the restaurant, you guys, by now, all of these people had arrived. Look at the universe, like aligning up this whole experience I wanted to have. So it literally felt like a teenager making out in the car, you guys. Like when you like sneak in and you're just like that, because the parking lot just had, while we were sitting there eating, the parking lot had filled with all of these cars, and it was like people walking around on the parking lot. Somebody was over there in the car, so a couple and was over there doing some things. A man had just got out the car. The parking lot was just buzzing, and I seemed like our car was parked right in the middle of the parking lot. When he gets in the car, he starts up the car to drive. I'm like, no. And he's like, because he's about to just put the car in reverse, and I'm like, no. And then I just start talking to him, and I know that he can just look at me now. He knows what the looks mean. And so I was just like looking at him and stuff, and then I just like kind of came into him. And you know, he's used to us just like kind of kissing like that. Like, you know, when we're out in public, we're not like making out like this. So he's used to that. So he was going in to give me a kiss, and then he realized I'm like all tongue, all French kiss, and he's like, oh, okay, it's going down. Right there in the parking lot, you guys, I literally had just dreamt of that experience that I wanted to have. And universe just aligned it all up for me and literally gave me the exact feeling that it felt like when I used to be a teenager and you would be like making out in the car, trying to like kind of be all inconspicuous and stuff, with that just like passion and the butterflies and all this and all that. He literally, after a while, he was like, okay, babe, we need to go home. I told you guys, he said all kind of things. He was like, we need to go back to make the love. He's like we're not, like we can't go no further. Like we've got to go back to the house. I had just created that experience just right then and there, you guys. When you start putting into practice the things that Abraham talks about in this book and getting your mind around, you're literally creating your experiences. It's you. You're doing it. So you can create whatever experience you want. If you want the experience of living in a different culture, being around a different culture, being around different people who speak another language, if you want the experience of being in another country, if you want the experience of having a boo thing, if you want to have the experience of being around children, having kids, whether you biologically have the kids or whether you adopt, you literally create it. It's about you just deciding what you want and create it. and just let the universe just like literally let it unfold for you. You guys will be amazed when you start putting some of these things to practice. Like I told you guys, sometimes I just like wake up or I'm like in the middle of doing something and I'm like, oh my God, that is crazy. Just weird. Because I'll just like look at my life and I'll just like remember like, oh my God, it was not that long ago that I manifested this. It was not that long ago that I asked for this. It was not that long ago that I asked for another business. It is not that long ago that I asked for boo thing. Yes, manifested boo thing. You will start looking at life like I do, like I can have, do, or be anything. I want the experience of making out in the car like a teenager. And I want to have that experience, not the actual physical, not just the physical experience, but the feeling of what that felt like when you like just like so in love with somebody and the butterflies and making out and the deep passionate kissing for an hour. Like you can create it. You can have it all, you guys. That is absolutely beautiful. So I wanted to just read you guys the next few chapters in our series of Abraham Hicks, you guys. If you have not heard of Abraham Hicks, I need you guys to look up this book, look up some of her audio. Her books are on Audibles. I have them both the physical copies of her books as well as the Audibles. They changed my life. These are the books that stay out, no matter what time of the year. They are such conversation starters. If you are ready, like we said at the top of the video, and they were mentioning in the book, if you're not ready, you won't receive it. But if anything that I mentioned in this video resonated with you, you guys, one, make sure, like I told you guys, it's free to you. Do your thumbs up. Do your thumbs up. But if anything I said resonated with you guys, I implore you, I beg you, look up Abraham Hicks. If you are ready, this non-physical Abraham can change your life. And like Abraham says in a lot of her teachings, once you wake up, once you remember, you can't go back. You can't go back. Once you remember who you are and that you are the creator, it's you creating your life experience, you will never forget it. You will never forget it. Even when things happen to you that are maybe not so great, you can literally look at it like, that happened for me. There's a reason that happened for me. Source brought that experience to me to teach me something, to help me get to the next level. There are no such things as mistakes, you guys. And like Abraham says, you can't get it wrong. There is no right or wrong. You can't get it wrong. It's your life experience. You intended for it to go that way in order to be that little breadcrumb or that yellow light in your life to say, hey, this was to warn you. You put this here so that you could expand. You guys, when you can just get your mind around nothing happens to you, it's all happening for you. Like I told you guys, when I was going through that dark night of the soul experience, when I came through it after reading Abraham, that same person, those same people that caused me to have the dark night of the soul experience, I have such an abundance of overflowing love for them. Because it was only because of them taking me through that dark night of the soul experience that brought me to Abraham, that brought me to a spiritual awakening that I can never unlearn. I can never forget again, not in this lifetime. I will never forget again. I now know the power of who I am. That this thing that we call reality is just a life experience. It's a game. It's a ride. The only way out of the game is to die. We all die. So you might as well enjoy the ride. Not be so stressed out and filled with anxiety and depressed. Sadhguru, another one of my spiritual leaders, I'm going to say this and I'm going to let you guys go. Sadhguru has this, and I'm not saying it verbatim, but it's something along the lines of the way you die and the way you transition out of this life will determine how and when your next level comes. So for example, say for instance, because we don't know, say for instance, when we transition, we reincarnate into another physical form. Sadhguru says that, and I believe this, Sadhguru says that this is why it's so horrible for people who take themselves out of here. Because when they go, they're in such a low, dark space that it prevents them from moving to the next level in the next life. Because they were in such a low, dark space when they took themselves out of here. Or say like a person who's extremely depressed or sad and drinks themselves, right on out of here. And they just transition right on up out of here. The state of mind that you're in when you transition is very important, you guys, in determining how soon you can either reincarnate into another physical form or how soon you can go to the next level. So if you know that then, and you know that you're creating your own reality, basically you need to, when you transition out of here, you need to transition out of here happy. So when I know people who have died because they overdosed on drugs or something like that, and if that drug is kind of known to be one that just like make you feel so good, happy and free, I don't feel sorry for them at all, because I remember this teaching and I'm like, that means they went out here high as hell. That means they went out here happy because they was high. So if you know that we all are going to transition out of here, and if you believe that how you transition out of here, your state of mind, determines your next life or the next level you go to, then you might as well transition up out of here happy. Just transition out of here happy. There's no need to be stressed about the bills. T-Bird is telling you, it's going to all work out. It's going to all work out. Either the bills and the expenses are going to be so high that you're going to move somewhere else where the cost of living is cheaper. You're going to downsize and move into a place that's more affordable where you don't have to stress about bills. If you have a health issue, say you have a health issue, you guys. This is why I told you guys, it can be really kind of damaging when you go see a doctor and the doctor, you went in there just for a regular checkup, but then the doctor says you, say, for instance, have a terminal illness. And if you don't have the right mindset of, okay, that's what this is me. This is my mindset. If I get a diagnosis, I'm like, I'm going to beat that. I don't care nothing about what these doctors talking about. I'm like, my mindset is always like, I'm going to beat that. Don't tell me I got 4 months to live. Don't tell me I got 4 days to live. I'm like, I'm going to beat that. That's the reason why I have that mindset, you guys, because I'm like, whether you transition in 4 days or 4 months, like the doctor said, is irrelevant. You can't do anything about it because we're all going to transition. So you might as well be living your best life while you're here. Just be happy. Just be love. Be happiness. Be joyful. Because we all have to the only way out of this life game is to transition. So if we know that we're going to transition, why am I going to spend my last 4 days or 4 months stressing out about some diagnosis? Why? I'm not. I tell people all the time, let me get a diagnosis like that. Don't put me in the hospital. Do not. I don't want to die in some cold hospital around strangers. I want to come home. My great grandmother died like that. They told her she had a, I don't know if it was an aneurysm or a tumor, something like that in her head, on her brain. And they were like, we can do surgery, we can do this, we can do that. My great grandmother was like, no. They were like, well, you're not going to live much longer if we don't do. She was like, I'm not doing no surgery. And my great grandmother died right there in the kitchen in the house that she loved, around her beautiful fur babies that she loved. She sat there. When they found my great grandmother, she was sitting at her kitchen table. She had just transitioned out because she had a cigarette in her hand, which lets you know she didn't give a rip about no brain tumor. Your girl was still getting her smoke on. When they found my great grandmother, she was in her kitchen. Look, like T-Bird. She stayed in that kitchen, you guys. That's probably where I get it from. She was in that kitchen, at the kitchen table. When they found her, she was still sitting up in the chair in her home that she loved, around her fur babies, still sitting up in the chair, you guys. And the cigarette hadn't even burnt out yet. Having herself a cup of coffee in her fine china. That was my great grandmother. She wasn't one of these people, oh, I'm going to wait until a special occasion to use this beautiful fine china. She had that beautiful teacup and saucer china. And when they found her, she must have just transitioned because the cigarette was still burning. The smoke was still coming off the cigarette, and she was sitting just like this. That lady lived her best life. She wasn't about to have no surgery. It is important how you guys transition up out of here. You transition up out of here in fear. That's why I'm always telling you guys, turn off the news. Stop letting people put all this fear-based news in your head. And then you're just like walking around every day just worried about this war, worried about the next war. This is why, another reason why I am so adamant and passionate about telling you guys to turn off that freaking news. Because I told you guys, if it's not a war in Ukraine, it's the war with Israel, they're going to just keep giving you guys stuff. Like they're literally going to just keep, it's the New York City migrants, the immigrants coming in. They will not stop, you guys. It's their job. They keep you living in fear. You guys do not want to transition in a state of fear. You want to transition back into source energy in a joyful state. In a joyful state. Happy, loving just life. If you guys have not heard of Abraham Hicks, I hope that I have encouraged you guys to look up Abraham Hicks' teachings. They have changed people's, it's not just me, you guys. When you guys look this up, you're going to see a ton of people who are like, oh my God, you changed my life. When you guys start listening to some of her teachings, there are a lot of them on YouTube. And when Esther's physical body, Esther, is doing these conferences, she's channeling Abraham. And so people will come up and they ask Abraham questions. Like Jerry would say, Jerry was Esther's husband, and Jerry is deceased now. And Jerry said that he would tell people when they wanted to come up and ask Esther a question, and they would say, Esther, and he would say, no, it's not Esther, it's Abraham. Ask Abraham. And when these people would go up on the stage, you guys, they get so freaking emotional. People are like, I got a hold of your teachings 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago. She's been around. Abraham, had been around a long time. So I want to say since the 80s. And people will say, when I got a hold of your teachings, it changed my life. I'm not the only one, you guys. They get very passionate and very emotional because a lot of people have had the same experiences that I had, where it's like you just kind of got to a point where you were like, what is the point of it all? or maybe you had a dark night of the soul experience, or maybe you were just kind of bopping along in life, but you were just kind of bored, or maybe they were just like, this can't be all there is to this life. And then they came across Abraham and they were like, Abraham changed my life. And sometimes people will get on there, you guys, and they're like, no, seriously, you have changed my life. My life was never the same. And Abraham will say that. Like, once you get a hold of the teachings, and if it resonates with you, only when you're ready, only if you're ready, you guys, will it resonate. So if it doesn't resonate with you, that just means you're not ready yet. But if it resonates with you, if some of the things that I'm talking about or that we read about today, it's like, why does that sound familiar? Like, why does that sound familiar that I came from source energy? I came here to have this life experience. I came here to live a joyful, loving life. Why does that sound familiar? If it like resonates with you like that, you guys, that means you're ready. And I beg you to look up more of the teachings. And we also are going to continue on in this series of Abraham Hicks. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. Cece said LOL at the lady. I know, Cece. Cece says she was scared you report her to the HOA. Cece, you know you're probably right. You know you're probably right. Because she looked extremely fearful. The lady looked extremely scared. I'm like, ma'am, go on. Margaret, go on somewhere. You all right? You good? You good? So thank you guys so much for joining me today. Thank you, New Day, for being my moderator. As usual, you guys, love you, love you, love you to pieces. And I'll see you guys on the next live. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Bye.